We don't know you. Oh, they were the one who was robbing the sushi place, but they were covered by, like, little unknowns. But that's definitely them. Yeah. Yeah! Continue. Loading the work. So yeah, either we're coming up hot on the ending, or they were kind of like rushing it. I realize it's a little slower to read things out loud, but like, not that much slower. Oh, we already did this. Oh no. How do I do my manual save? Yeah, not the autosave. Because we got the special insight. We got our secret insight from the wall. We got wall sight now, baby. Okay. What do we got going on? Guess I could have read my quest log. She's empty. That's what she is. That's right. We went to the tower. We did some stuff. Then we just walk in here. Needle beer. Drink like you survived something. Cold, bitter lager brewed for exiles, burnouts, and anyone still breathing out of principle. Needle Brewing Co., Nethervale Sector 2, established 2647, contains alcohol. Oh, nothing exciting. Here's another structural pillar. We came to the one over here. Let's go to the one over here. Whoa. Howard presses his palm against New Stratum's colossal concrete pillar. You know, most people just lean against these things. They don't try to start a conversation. Silence, that's all. Hollow and indifferent. Kind that comes after everything unnecessary has been stripped away. Some things are denied the chance to become themselves. They are assigned a function and left there until the shape hardens around it. Howard pulls his hand away. The connection vanishes. The pillar stands there mute, gray, and unremarkable. A brutal thing. Massive and useful, but hollowed out before it ever had the chance to be anything more. You can go back to the convenience store. Oh, we begging for heals now, huh, buddy? Howard steps closer. The alternate's head snaps towards him instantly this time. Oh, it's you again, the walker. Still not abstracted. Impressive. Still hiding behind the tin can? Yeah, and look, I'm still alive. That's the point. Still playing? Playing implies I'm having fun. This is ranked competitive. I'm paying money to be stressed. We're losing, by the way. Thanks for asking. Let's see. We can get some rerolls. Maybe that's not the worst idea. But like, you know, ultimately spending dice to re-roll dice, it's like, yeah. We necessarily want to make that pay off. I don't know. Heading back to our office. So we're waiting on DK to track the payment made. You weren't meant to dig this far. But yes, we're waiting on DK to dig up the payment made for 30 masks. Hum, hum, hum. The abrasive chirp of Howard's comic shatters the silence. He wakes from a thin, uneasy sleep, memory of sewn-shut eyelids fading slowly. Now your ghost. His name's Dr. Kevin Harris, runs a private practice, specializes in hypnotherapy and neural restructuring. Well. Yeah, that sounds like who all of our victims were talking to. The ghost has a name. Howard freezes. The name hits harder than he'd like to admit. Dr. Kevin Harris, licensed psychotherapist, weekly appointments. Last appointment, 3 years ago. You there? hearing way too much silence. Alright, can you get into his patient database? Ooh, patient records. Now we're talking proper illegal. Ogura Kos Gorvez. Just check appointment logs. The sound of furious typing returns. Seconds later, a screenshot blinks into Howard's neural archive, all 3 names highlighted. Reception calendar says all 3 spent quality time with Dr. Harris. So, guess you're heading to his office next. Want backup? I could use a second set of eyes. Alright, give me something to work with. Building, access points, whatever you got. There used to be 2 alternators at the main entrance, 24/7 reception, cameras in every corridor and elevator. Reception? Do they know you? Morning shift does. Night shift, not really. Why? Perfect. I'll ghost you a fake ID. Someone forgettable. Logistics clerk, maybe. Now, what else you got? Think details. Sending you visual data from my neural archive. It's a few years old. The line fills with the sound of furious rhythmic keystrokes as DK parses the data. Got it. Let's see what the old eyeballs picked up. Ooh, hello there. Floor ports. Nice catch. Something useful, I guess? Maintenance hubs. If I can jack in, it's a backstage pass. Unlock doors, loop, kill cameras. I can even trip emergency exits or mess with the air vents if you want to get dramatic. Can you access them? They're locked down with rotating ciphers, but I can brute force it. I just need cover. What kind of cover? Hold on. The clacking intensifies to a frantic pitch. Jackpot! Found the building's maintenance schedule. System resets, log backups, firewall refresh. Digital noise heaven. When's the reset? Every morning at 4. Love patterns. They save me so much work. A slip into the forecourt during the reset, crack root access, and unlock Harris's office. From their end, it'll look like a failed login from an internal maintenance terminal. Alright, yeah, run it back. What's the full plan? You get into the building and head for the 36th floor. Find the nearest floor port and patch me in before 4. I hijack the system, pop Harris's door, and loop the hall cam. You get in, find what you need, and you're gone before the system knows it's been kissed. Oh, I didn't mean to ask how much time I got, but I guess I'll do it. 20 minutes to work, but the unlock, 90 seconds tops before the system auto-rechecks the door. Alright, got it. I'll be ready. You better be. I don't run cleanup. The line cuts, the plan is set, the clock's ticking. Time for some real detective shit. You're missing it, Howard. We have the who and the where. We don't have the how. Ogura Kos Gorvez. 0 overlap in their lives. So how do you talk 3 completely different men into pulling their own plugs without a fight? Yeah, their implants were fried. Their boosts were running at optimal efficiency right until the moment their heart stopped. The hardware was clean. So if you can't force the body, what do you have to force? Exactly. And what is Dr. Harris's specialty again? Hypnotherapy. You're on the right track. He doesn't fix bones, he rewires thoughts. So how did he turn 3 healthy people into corpses remotely? Memory, Dr. Harris. The mind is a machine. With the right access, we can rewrite anything. Fear, trauma, even core survival instincts. It's just code. The brain loves repetition. Given enough time, almost any response can become automatic. Yeah, he built a response into them, planted something. Cause yeah, going by the phone logs we had for the hacker guy, it did seem like there was like a keyword situation. He let them with something they couldn't remember until the right moment brought it back. He changed the way they reacted to something. He never had to hack their approvals. He only had to change how they responded. Both are saying what I'm saying in different ways. getting closer. It has to be some kind of switch, not hardware, something dormant and behavioral. A trigger. And it can't be an object. Think back. Coast jumped right after the call. It was what she heard. But planning something like that takes time. You don't do it in one conversation. You do it over weeks, months. Howard, how long were you seeing Dr. Harris? Yeah, what if you're right? If you put a back door in their heads, he could have put one in yours. Did we just close a case? Got almost everything. Who, when, how. But what we don't have is why. And that question just got a lot more dangerous. Howard tries to remember Dr. Harris. The waiting room, the office, the walk home. A cold prickle crawls up the back of his neck. Deep inside his neural archive, he feels the outline of something sealed away. A locked door he never knew was there. He closes his eyes, but the darkness behind his eyelids doesn't feel empty anymore. Ruh-roh! Ruh-roh! Takes us to book one. It's a loud game. A little better, a little better. You're so royalty-free sounding right now. Like an extra step. Okay. All right. That was our one. We're into two. We'll have three. All right. Beneath the concrete skin, the case finally comes together, just not the way it should. The paperwork is flawless, the truth perfectly legal, but the victory tastes like ash, revealing the machine Howard just served. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like how it's a little bit Disco Elysium, it's a little bit Control, it's a little bit Shadowrun. Good stuff, good stuff. Many of my favorite things in that list. Some cases end with an arrest. Others don't truly begin until you realize who you've been chasing all along. Howard was about to find out which kind this was. So, Elysium Tower. I have a feeling we're not coming back the same way we go in. If there's anything else you want to do in Nethervale, I'd do it first. Hey, we got our sushi side quest! We didn't get to go meet our, our biggest fan. We gotta go meet our biggest fan. And I'm curious if the dogs come back. Shattered window has been replaced with a temporary plastic sheet that rattles in the wind. Inside, the restaurant is back in order. Behind the counter, Hero works in silence. Chop, fold, reset. He doesn't look up. Salt, rice vinegar, old oil soaked into wood. Most tables are empty. A couple of late-night regulars hunched over bowls, eating in the quiet. At the far end, tucked into the last booth near the back wall, a woman sits alone. She's draped in leather, her black hair falling in messy layers over her shoulders. That's her. She dresses better than her puppet, I'll give her that. Yeah, let's check in with Hero first. Howard approaches the counter. Hero's blade never stops moving, but his eyes lift. Give me the strongest sake you got. I need to tolerate an artist. Yeah, how you holding up, Hero? Place looks patched. Hero shrugs without looking up. Glass is replaceable. Hands are not. Your table's waiting. Back booth. She's been patient. She takes a slow sip from a teacup in front of her, eyes distant. She's not performing. For a moment, she looks hollowed out. Her jaw tightens as she bites the inside of her cheeks. Then she senses his stare, her gaze snapping toward him. The vulnerability vanishes, replaced by a sharp, knowing look. Howard crosses the room and stops at the back booth. As he slides into the seat across from her, Nikki doesn't look up immediately. She finally raises her eyes. They're almond-shaped, black, and heavy with a gaze that feels like it's reading the fine print of his soul. You look different in person. Glad you came. I was worried one of the voices would talk you out of it. You know what? I'm here because I'm curious. Don't waste it. I won't. Curiosity is the only thing that keeps people like us moving in a place like this. Once that dies, you're just another piece of the scenery. Nikki leans back and takes a slow breath as if steadying herself. I once had someone I thought would be with me forever. Built a lot around the idea they wouldn't leave. They did. Just like that. Ever since, everything's a struggle. Work got harder, sleep got worse. Every idea felt structured around doubt, rage, sadness. Like my own thoughts started boxing me in. I'm not a therapist, Nikki. And you think I can fix that? Let's go with sounds like betrayal. That's a cool guy detective thing to say. The worst kind. Kind that makes you question your own judgment more than theirs. You stop trusting the world because you stop trusting yourself. She leans in closer, her voice dropping to a low, steady tone. When I saw you at the Crow, arguing with the air, carrying on a full-time relationship with your own pain. You look like you're fighting a war nobody else can see. It's the most honest thing I've seen in this city in years. Most people run from that noise inside. They numb it, ignore it, pretend it's not there. You turn and face it. You give it a seat at the bar and order it a drink. I want that kind of courage. I need it. Let's see, you're romanticizing a tragedy. And if you watch me long enough, think some of that courage will rub off on you? It's not courage, it's just what happens when you run out of places to hide. Then we're in the same place. She looks down at her hands. I'm a writer, Howard. Or I was. Can't create like this. I don't trust my instincts anymore. Every idea second guesses itself into nothing. I'm stuck in this, and it's swallowing everything I used to be. So I thought, maybe if I could see the world through someone else's eyes, just for a moment, it would break the loop. Any plan on doing that? Poetry? You mean metaphorically, right? What are you talking about? Yeah, what? You wanna become one of the voices in my head? I wanna try something new. Something no ethics board would sign off on, and definitely something that's never been done before in the history of terrible ideas. Oh no. Oh yes. She takes a deep breath, her dramatic flair finally giving way to naked, earnest intensity. I have 2 neural bridges at my place. I modded them myself. Creates a short-term synaptic link. Lets 2 people share raw sensory and cognitive input. That sounds dangerous. It's safe-ish. Temporary. A few seconds, maybe a minute. She slides her hands palm up on the table. An empty gesture. Open. Waiting. Look, it's not mind reading. I won't see your memories or your secrets unless you actively drag them to the surface. It's just a glimpse. And what if something goes wrong? I hit the kill switch. It's hardwired. You'd be out before you finish blinking. I'm not looking to burn us out. I'm not asking for an answer now. Just come look at it. The bridge. My place. It's not... That's fine too. She leaves a few dice on the table for Hero and slides out of the booth. Thanks for the face-to-face, Howard. For what it's worth, you're a better listener than your reputation suggests. Address is on your comic, in case you decide to take a bad idea for a test drive. She doesn't wait for a response. She turns and weaves through the empty tables, pushing out into the night. You attract interesting disasters. Alright, we'll do, obviously, everything before that. We got another propaganda poster. We love the propaganda posters! A poster insists on its message in the tone of an insolent toddler or a spoiled Nepo baby that can't get their way. You can do it again. Nethervale was just the start. You proved your dedication once. Comply once again. The future is above you. Step forward. We must go higher. Pay the generous patrons of our future forward. New Genesis, Ectovision, and RR Industries. Funny how you can turned into you will in just a couple of years. Generous patrons. That's one way to say the sponsors your slow death with logos on the coffin. They used to dress it up as patriotism. Now they just say comply. At least they dropped the act. They stopped flirting and got straight to the leash. The city made a little more sense. Time went on and progress on the sky breach construction slowed. The powers that be grew more and more agitated. Their promises of a better future and prosperity gave way to veiled threats of violence and oppression. Work harder, toil longer, lose more, receive less. Promises have been replaced with nothing but demands. Ho ho ho, keep going, Thunder! Keep going! Oh, it's the good stuff. The scaffolding is down. The Crow Jazz Bar isn't a hole in the wall anymore. It's a statement. Oh, we got that A-frame. Ooh, she's looking good. Staring at the door like it insulted your mother. It's just a renovation. Did my hole in the wall get gentrified and I'm upset? It's nice. A little respite might not be the worst thing. Look at you embracing change. Careful! Keep that up and you might actually smile. Howard shoves the heavy door open. The hinges don't squeak anymore. There are cushions on the stools, armchairs, imitation wood panels, and fake fire crackling on screens. It feels cozy. Feels wrong. The bar is more crowded than usual. That is, more than 3 people are inside at any given time. The bartender finishes an order and slides it to an eager palm. She looks up and gives a knowing nod to Howard. Ah, the regular returns. So, she spreads her arms, gesturing to the room, then looks to Howard. What do you think? It looks shiny! You know what? It's warmer. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Ho 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 ho! The bartender smiles, a genuine smile. Not the kind you get as foreplay before a sale. Surviving and living aren't the same, Howard. You can enjoy things once in a while. She turns to the liquor wall, her hands moving like a hyper-focused octopus. Blur of rye, vermouth, and bitters. She places the glass in front of him. Enjoy. The drink is cold, smooth, and perfect. Slides down his throat, leaving a trail of warmth. With the passing of time, the chatter of patrons, booze, and the new ambience lulls him into a state of smooth euphoria. For a second, the world feels manageable. Hey, don't go drifting on me, big guy. The thought is terrifyingly appealing. To just close his eyes, to let the fake fire warm his real bones. This place is poison. It makes you soft. While you sit here getting cozy, Harris is still out there. The case remains unsolved. Dead people don't get justice if the detective is drunk. We can't stop. Not yet. With a grunt and a nod to the bartender, Howard pushes himself off the stool. Halfway to the exit, something pulls his attention. A door that shouldn't be there. Dark wood, a bronze plaque etched with a single feather. Oh, good! This is the interesting timeline. Try not to rush it. You're not imagining it. It's real. He was waiting for you. Lying in the dust of the old bar, just waiting for you to bring it back to the new one. The geometry matches. The symbol, the object, a lock and a key. Stop analyzing it. Put the damn thing in the hole. Open it. We don't have a feather. This isn't your timeline. Whose timeline is it? Howard stumbles out, the heavy door sealing the warmth behind him. The city greets him the only way it knows how. Yay! Some cash money! Dice! It's fine. Quiet little blessing from the best bar in the Nethervale. Alright, recess is over. Elysium Tower. No, look, there's so much more playtime to do. Howard places his palm against New Stratum's colossal concrete pillar. Oh, again we're romanticizing columns. Okay, take your time. It's cold, brutal, and purely functional, and the recognition settles in. Hairline cracks vanish beneath the clean geometry, little failures buried inside lines that look perfect from the outside. New Stratum was built to endure. Built to hold. Built with no ambition beyond surviving its own weight. Ugly is what remains when usefulness strangles every other possibility. Howard looks up towards Sky Breach, then down, as if he could see through the floor to the foundation below. Above, polished scale. Below, buried strain. Between them, this thing. A structural compromise pretending to be permanence. And suddenly, he understands it. Wasted potential as a shape. Sometimes it's a man, sometimes it's architecture. He pulls his hand away. The illusion breaks. Concrete returns to concrete. Street soldiers! Howard slips through the narrow side street where tangled wiring droops between buildings like dying vines. He finds a shop tucked behind a shuttered arcade, its entrance patched together with scrap and stubbornness. Fortress for the desperate. They don't fight the system here. They just sell you the tools to survive it. Sometimes survival is the only rebellion left. Howard knocks. Once. Twice. The slit snaps open in the metal. A pair of teenage eyes, rimmed in black liner and sleep deprivation, squints through. Ah, look what the gutter's dragged in. Old man PID. Last unplugged man in Nethervale. Thought you corporate ghosts don't shop down here. Yeah, just open the damn door. Boy squints another second and the slit claps shut. The lock grinds, a series of heavy bolts clank and disengage. Give me a hot second, I gotta go make sure my plant's in the rain. Alright, I'm back. It's in the rain now. Back in my blanket. Oh, getting to be cozy under a blanket in July. It's a real life blessing. Alright. Shop's nothing but raw concrete like a fallout shelter wired for business. Shelves sag with outlaw tech, unstable, illegal, and experimental. So what's the job, Grandpa? You looking to pop a deadbolt or pop a skull? Neither. A high-rise, Elysium Tower. I have a way in. Nest Finder is cracking the floorboards. Nest Finder? You're trusting your life to a voice in your ear. Here's a free lesson, Grandpa. Signals jam, ice adapts. Nest Finders choke. If your voice gets locked out while you're standing in the hallway, you're dead. Unless you bring your own key. What key? He's trying to upsell you. He is, but a manual override isn't a bad idea. Maybe I know a way around a shutdown. Ugly, loud, illegal, but knowledge costs. Especially the kind that keeps you breathing. Let me make sure we don't have... Okay, we do have a point available. We could take our perception all the way up. Or we could add a point to something else. Virtue might not be bad. Intelligence is always a good choice. Do these level? No. You just get them. Okay. You know, I've been liking Virtue, so let's put a point on Virtue. Is it gonna help me out necessarily? No. But you know what? That don't mean I'm not with them. Alright. Drop the pitch. You got hardware, tell me. Skip the foreplay. You like dice, right? You got 3 seconds to get useful, then I get creative. Ooh, 18's rough to roll. We can roll a 6. We could roll a 6. Come on. Come on. We got that. Especially since we're already starting with 2. Especially since we're already starting with 4. We can roll a 2 on this. Come on. Big money, big money. Oh my god. We didn't get big money, but we got big thunder. Nah, you gotta ask like that. You can't afford the answer. Just show me. The good stance posture relaxes. Potential for conflict is replaced by the simple transactional comfort of a sale. Should have started there. Saves us both the headache. He turns, digs through a battered case, and starts lining gear across the counter. This is the lockjaw. Clamp it on a digital lock, and the door forgets who it works for. Pops right open. One-time use. Don't stand too close unless you like migraines. And for the suicidal types, reflex booster. Neural stim jam. Jam it in your neck and suddenly you're faster, sharper, for a few minutes. The crash is bitch. Makes you feel old and stupid. And here's my favorite. Noise rat. Drone with a speaker that screams like it's dying. He gestures at the small arsenal of outlaw tech. So, make up your mind. Let's see. You know, the lockjaw does sound tempting. Noise rat. I could see the application. We've got kind of a lot of dice. Do we have any, like, negative? Yeah. I think I'm actually gonna buy the noise rat. Yeah. Oh, -4 anger issues. Don't get attached. You want more? Or are you tapping out? Yeah, that'll do. Try not to die with my gear on ya. Bad for advertising. All right. Let's go crash a therapy session. Let's go crash a therapy session. How to enter Elysium. Howard observes Elysium Tower from across the street, watching the two alternated stand like decorative furniture. Expensive, useless, smug. Oh, Jesus Christ! That lightning was so close I thought the lights flickered, but it was actually just the lightning. Oh my god. Ah! Then the lobby doors slide open. Somebody's car alarm is going off. A man steps out, moving with the calm invisibility of someone who belongs. He slips into an auto cab and is gone. Alright, look alive. Your boyfriend's on the move. Howard crosses the street, the lie already forming on his lips. He approaches the reception desk, ready to deliver his lines to the night shift stranger. The words die in his throat. The woman behind the polished Durasteel counter isn't the night guy. It's her. Maria. The morning receptionist from 3 years ago. Howard? Howard Thornfield, is that you? Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Shit. It's too late. Walking away now is more suspicious than staying. Howard exhales through his nose, options narrowing fast. Oh, we can use our noise rat. All right. This we could probably pass with just one die, not with the sponsored die. Come on, baby. All right, we did it. Howard's eyes dart across the lobby, cutting through the polished bullshit. He's not looking for systems to hack. He's looking for a moment of chaos, and he finds it. A janitor's cart laden with cleaning supplies and a full bucket of murky water sits unattended near a pillar. A servitor drone hovers near reception, balancing a precarious tower of coffee cups. And Maria's half-eaten bowl of fish soup steaming dangerously close to her console. They're all perfect, beautifully stupid, simple. Yeah, why would you not just tip the soup? Tip the soup. Alright, we got a roll 6. We got our +1. Yum, 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 yum. That is a little high. Why don't we roll the platinum die then? And we'll only need one, because it's already got a +5, and surely we won't get those double zeros again. Oh, that was so cursed. Howard's elbow hooks the soup bowl's rim, slow and inevitable, spilling oily broth straight into her console's vent. No, no, no! She leaps up, frantically dabbing at the mess with napkins. Howard is already moving. The elevator doors part. He slips inside, jamming the button for 36. He lets out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Well, you didn't get shot. I'm calling that a win. Now try to keep the rest of this op from being a total cluster, will you? Howard lets his head thud back against the wall, his eyes sliding shut for a second. As he slides down to a crouch, his fingers brush against a small sharp object. He picks up a pair of dice. Guess someone's too loaded to bother bending over for a couple of credits. A little extra luck never hurt. The display pings, 36th floor. The doors part, revealing the quiet corridor shared by only 2 tenants, Skybreach Architects and Harris's office. Alright, your floor port's ahead, left wall, 15 steps. Howard steps out, eyes locking on the hidden panel. Found it. Finally, now open it up and plug me in before someone gets curious. Howard pulls the link spool from his comic and snaps it into the floor port's recessed jack. Quiet click confirms the connection. Alright, I'm in. Bypassing the maglock and Harris's door first. A low thunk echoes softly from the office as the heavy bolt retracts. You're open. Go. I'll loop the camera feed and scrub your entry from the logs while you search. Howard moves to the door, hand on the handle. That's annoying. What's wrong? The camera. Are we flagged? No alarms. It's just weird architecture or a bad update. It's accepting my loop, but I can't find the sync. The sync? Storage, the server. It's recording, but I can't find where it's saving the data. Can you fix it? Howard, please. It's a hallway camera, not a PID vault. Go, I got you covered. Alright. Catalyst for ambition. The same desk. The same floor-to-ceiling window offering its God's eye view of a sick city. Nothing's changed. Whoa, okay. I'm reading active sensors everywhere. Pinhole lenses in the bookshelves, mics in the light fixtures. This place is wired like a retro reality show. Can you loop them? Already on it. But they're running the same weird code as the hallway. Slippery. Really don't like it. Lovely. Find what you need and get the fuck out. Let's see. The door. Wait, what door? That wasn't here before. An old basic door, just a handle and a simple lock. Wasn't there 3 years ago when Howard last visited Harris. Plain wood, mechanical handle, cheap lock. Nothing here would stop a hard shove. Yeah, search the room for a key. If there's a lock, there has to be a key. Let's see. We don't have a paper clip. Search the pockets of Harris's coat. His fingers brush a familiar shape first. Dice, clattering softly as he pulls them out. Beneath them, cold forged iron, a simple old-fashioned key. He takes both. Howard slides the key into the lock. One turn, a soft click. He pushes the door open. Dust, stale air, and masks. Rows of them. Golden, expressionless faces staring back from the dark. Ceremonial death masks, a practice of the cult. Molten gold poured over the face of the deceased. The golden ritual. Well, that's not creepy at all. Please tell me this is evidence and not decor. They were camouflage. Harris used them as cover, borrowing the cult's mark to shift suspicion from his chair to their altars. There's more. Something you missed. Keep looking. Yeah, the filing cabinet seems good. Howard crosses to the old-fashioned filing cabinet. Inside, rows of thick files wait, alphabetized with obsessive precision. His fingers walk the tabs, hunting for the targets. Ogura, Kos, Corvez. He was right, they're all here. And right behind him, the final member of the club, Thornfield. The proof is in his hands. Read the files. You need to know what he did. Howard flips open the folders. Sterile intake forms, benign session notes. Then, the truth bleeds through. Ogura blackmailed a family, ruined them, kept the cash, lived with the guilt. Kos approved faulty boosts. Customers died. She buried the evidence. Corvez sold illegal tech. One malfunction caused a massacre. He never admitted it. Howard hesitates. Then, he opens the last file. Thornfield, Howard. Sector 6 events disclosed under deep hypnosis. The official report is incomplete. The patient remembers more than he allows himself to say. The subject carries the burden, but guilt is not his atonement. He still has to pay for his sins. He weaponizes guilt. Clinic is just a slaughterhouse where he bleeds out people's trauma to use against them. He isn't choosing people at random. Every single patient has a dark past. And he should have picked someone else. We were following orders. Maybe. But notice what we just did. The moment it became about us, we started making exceptions. We've only scratched the surface. Keep your eyes open. Something's off. Right under your nose. Desk drawers, most likely placed for personal notes on patients. Howard slides open the top drawer. Beneath the clutter of stationery, a slim black notebook hides. Its pages are scrawled, unfiltered screed. Words jump out at him. Parasites. Hopeless. They deserve death. The evidence is no longer circumstantial. Harris didn't just enable their deaths. He desired them. Holy shit. Yeah? Right. What? No, Howard! Listen to me, the cameras. It's not saving to the building server. It's not saving anywhere. It's a dummy cam? Fake? No, it's a ghost stream. Data's being encrypted and beamed out in real time. Direct feed. No storage, no cache, no backups. Someone's watching this office live, right now. A cold shiver crawls up Howard's spine. He feels the weight of an invisible gaze pressing against the back of his neck. Then, the impossible. The spectral sight sears to life. Abstracts don't exist this high up. Yet its target lock blazes, unmistakably branding a simple pen. A glitch. It can't be an abstract. Howard's stomach tightens. The boost has never misfired before. Signal's clear. It's real. Harris must have used it without knowing what it was. Just as Rose looks like a flower, this looks like a pen. Perfectly ordinary, perfectly hidden. If Rose can speak, maybe this one can too. Do you understand me? The pen stays silent, just a cold, lifeless cylinder. Let me. The thin green stem stretches from her petals and wraps around the pen's barrel. The pen shudders violently. Its form blurs, elongating and shifting. Metal flows like liquid for a split second before solidifying anew. Standing on the desk is a bipedal figure with the body of a fountain pen. A face, etched into the metal just below the tip, blinks two bewildered eyes. I am Pen Man! No whiteout allowed! Oh, another abstract. That's what humans call us. I heard them saying it. Hello, Flower Abstract. First one I've met beside myself. I usually stay very, very still. Humans get nervous when the office supplies start talking. Penman gives Rose a wink. Yeah, what did Harris use you for? Penman puffs out its metallic chest, proud of its function. My purpose is pure. I am the engine of completion. The good doctor would write a goal, and I would fill him with the fire to see it done. Total, absolute focus. He wasn't writing goals. He was writing death sentences for his own patients. Indeed, he was most meticulous. He would write their names and their prescribed outcomes, and then, oh, the ambition that would fill him. Such brilliant, relentless focus to make the words become real. He didn't find peace, you stupid nib. He wrote die. The phrasing belongs to the author. My function is simply the ambition to achieve it. He thought they were bad, so he wrote it down, and the abstract made him act on every dark thought as if it was divine command. The tool is neutral. The hand that wields it is not. Yes, call Kiri. Report the abstract. Contain it. Taps his comic. The line rings once, twice. Kiri, it's me. I'm at Elysium Tower. I've got a confirmed abstract. Class? Unknown. It's a pen. Elysium Tower? You can't be serious. Howard, you need to leave. Get the hell out of there. Kyrie, I repeat, confirmed abstract at Elysium Tower. I can't. Howard, please, just leave before... The line cuts abruptly. You said abstract. She barely reacted. You said Elysium Tower. That's when she panicked. Something's off. Be careful. Howard stares at the dead comic. Before he can process Kyrie's panic, DK's voice cuts through the silence. Howard, I traced it. Traced what? I don't have time, DK. Something's going on. The ghost stream. Managed to catch a fragment of the handshake protocol right before the receiver cut the connection. It's a PID signature. Howard feels the blood drain from his face. The room suddenly feels very small. You're sure it came from PID? Doesn't mean they created it. It only means someone inside PID was receiving the feed. Maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to move. They wired an entire office to stream data 24/7. If all they wanted was the abstract, they could have walked in and picked up the pen. So they chose not to interfere. They chose to watch instead. If they wanted to study an abstract, they could have done it in a lab, which means the abstract wasn't the objective. Then what was? He slowly looks around the office. His eyes settle on the patient chair, then on Penman, then on Harris's notes. I mean, he was getting people to talk about more than even they remembered. Their target was the patient information. The realization hits Howard like a physical blow. It wasn't a crime scene to them, it was a petri dish. They knew Harris had an abstract, and instead of containing it, they sat back to see what it would do to a human mind. They sent you to the exact same psychiatrist they were monitoring. That can't be a coincidence. They were testing it. It's the only explanation that fits. They were observing Harris and what he was doing to his patients. Howard leans against the desk, his breath coming short. What about you, Howard? Who did you work for 5 years? Who gave you your badge? Who gave you your orders? Who sent you to Harris? You were a field agent. You were just another rat in a slightly bigger maze. Howard's hands begin to shake. The pieces click into place. We have to expose this. We can't let them... With what? It's a ghost stream. There are no logs, no recordings. Go to the press, PID will just deny it. Of course they'll deny it. That's the point. They built it that way. He feels humiliated, used. All those years believing he was part of the solution, and he was just part of the experiment. You can't let them get away with it. Justice! Fuck your justice. No. No more. We need to... Shut your fucking mouth, all of you. Howard, your vitals are spiking. You need to calm down. Howard's jaw aches from clenching, his throat raw with words he can't force out. Every voice buzzing in his head sounds like a liar, a collaborator, except one. See it now, don't you? You were never a hero, never even a man, just a rat in their fucking maze. But no more. No more orders. No more fucking cages. Don't let anger control you. 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 You know what? Get the fuck out. Howard turns for the door, half blind with panic, his whole body already committed to running. He nearly collides with the body filling the doorway. He jerks to a halt, heart hammering in his ribs. Harris is standing there, watching him. I must say, I'm disappointed after all our sessions. This is what you resort to? Breaking and entering? He blocks the doorway, standing with the casual confidence of a man who believes he is untouchable. But we both know why you're really here, don't we? We both know how this ends. Whatever you're doing, make it fast. PID is on the way, and this isn't containment op for the pen. It's for you. Same badge, same bullets, new target. Howard takes a step back, but Harris matches him with a cold, knowing smile touching his lips. I made sure you could never be a threat. All I have to do is say the word. The trigger word. He opens that mouth, we die. Shut him up. Put a bullet through his mouth. Say the word and PID takes you. They've been watching all of this. Try to reach him. PID used you, Harris. They'll kill you too. Reveal the abstract. You weren't a hero. You were possessed by a pen. Shove Rose in his face, distract him with a talking flower. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's try the PID used you too. The words form in his mind, a lifeline, a chance to be something other than a weapon they made him. It's the right thing to say, the human thing. But the anger is too loud, too close. His jaw locks, muscle corded with tension that refuses to let a plea for virtue escape. You know what? Yeah. Throw the noise rat! We gotta use our guy. This should be fine, right? Because we're not rolling Truth Seeker. We're not rolling for no Truth Seeker. So we would need to roll 3. That is a little, dare I say, dicey, so we'll roll both of these. Can't even read them, but okay. Howard's hand darts to his pocket. One fluid motion, he sidearms the drone against thrust the room. Harris opens his mouth to speak the death sentence. The digital scream is deafening. Harris flinches, clutching his ears, eyes wide with shock and confusion. His words are lost in the cacophony. Howard doesn't waste the moment. Yeah, he's pathetic. Save the ammo for the PID. Leave and let him go. Pistol whips Harris across the temple. The doctor drops like a sack of stones, unconscious before he hits the floor. Leaving a loaded weapon behind us, you know. It's fine. Howard turns his back on the wreckage of the office and the man inside it. No time for victory laps or regrets. The long way down. We do still have our door unlocked too, so you know what? PID's in the lobby right now. One team's already in the elevator shaft. Air support in 2 minutes. Air support for one guy? I feel special. Pulled a heavy favor. I'm lining up a ride. Just get to the street. Try not to die before it gets there. Howard looks wildly down the hall. To his left, the elevator bank. To his right, the fire stairs. Across the hall, the double glass doors and the only other tenant. Thinking of rides. I think the wrong one is approaching fast. Soft ding echoes from the elevator bank. The numbers are climbing. 5, 10, 15. Can't walk down. We'll have a containment squad waiting at the bottom of the stairs. And the elevator is a kill box. Skybreach Architects. Might have a way off this rock that doesn't involve the front door. The window! There! It's just glass. Shatter it! Run! Jump! Fly! That seems like the terrible idea. Run into the open Skybreach Architect's office. Fascinating. Alright. Sure, let's go. Finding the elevator cables wind. The car's slowing for its arrival at the 36th floor. 7 seconds, Howard. You need to be off this floor yesterday. Sure, let's break in. Breaking in feels better. Let's see. Wait, what are you? Oh, you're the -1 truth seeker. So you don't matter here. Give me a -1, but I think we're gonna be okay. Whew. It was dicey, but we got what we needed. Howard flips the pistol in his hand, swinging the hot barrel. He swings hard. Barrier is gone in an instant. Howard crunches over the debris and slips into the office. A half second later, the elevator outside slides open. Heavy boots thunder across the floor. The sound is aggressive, disciplined, and terrifyingly close. Check in Harris's office first. You got a tiny window. Use it. Howard turns to face the room. The space is dominated by a massive floor-to-ceiling holographic display of new stratum. Scale models of needle-thin towers sit on drafting tables, and the far wall is lined with construction gear, harnesses, helmets, and survey drones. Beyond them, the terrace doors rattle against the high-altitude wind. You have an asset here. Architects don't just draw buildings. They climb them. Look for a way down. Howard, move! Any direction except stand there and die works for me. You know, hiding inside the hollow base is kind of a fascinating idea. We might hear something then. Although at the same time, you know, checking the gear racks isn't a bad plan. You know what? I am going to hide inside the hollow base. Howard scrambles into the crawl space beneath the massive architectural model. It's dark, cramped, and feels secure. He holds his breath as hollow boots stomp into the room. For a second, there's silence. Damn! Thermal contact behind the Toy City. Line of sight, yes, but not heat. We're glowing like a flare. 3 laser sights already painting his chest. Target acquired. Night-night. The taser prongs hit him before he can even raise his hands. Damn! I didn't think about future tech. Ugh. Oh, we've bad ended. Alright. Don't hide behind the model. That was a dumb idea. Alright, long way down. Let's do it to it. Alright. Get down to the street. They're coming. We can't watch. Beep beep boop boop. Beep boop boop bop. Boppity beep boop. Beep beep boop bop bop. Beep 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 boop 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 bop 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 boop boop boop. What happens if we kick it? Damn. Damn. Okay, kicking the door. Also not good. Suspect was apprehended while attempting to physically fight a blast-proof door. Suspect lost. Oh, I see that we also have to BRB. Alright, I'll have it loaded back to this point when the BRB comes back. We're smashing our way in the door again successfully. Alright. I can't wait to rappel down the side of this building. Let them come! That seems real iffy. Alright. So we need to roll a 4. So we technically need to roll a 3. I'm gonna try again with that sponsored dice combo. Oh boy. It's all safety gear, high-vis jackets, and lunch boxes. Alright, I guess we're gonna try and hide. Chest-high walls. 3 hostiles, they're sweeping the room. Don't do anything stupid. Too late for that. First agent steps through the doorway. 2 more follow, fanning out. Their weapons are raised. Howard's finger tightens on the trigger. He could drop the first one right now, but something stops him. You don't have to kill them. They're just following orders like you were. Alright, grab the leader, use him as leverage, disable, don't kill. Yeah, you know, that'll save us some charges later, probably. Let's roll our lucky die. That way, it's guaranteed. Howard drops his aim, knees, shoulder, joints. The agents collapse, clutching their legs. They're alive, but out of the fight. You're soft. Stay down. Oh, that's a fascinating concept. We do have some of these were persuasion up, right? Yeah, plus our mask is persuasion up. Yeah. All right. 4, 6. And we can roll this last one. That leaves us with 2 dice, which is a little iffy, but ideally we will create our path out and we'll be okay. Howard's thumb finds the mic. The cold procedural tone of his old life slips back into his voice like muscle memory. Control, target breached the terrace. He's airborne on a glider, heading north. I've lost visual. Copy, diverting air support. All ground teams converge on predicted landing zones. Howard waits in the silence of the empty floor, pressing the earpiece tighter against his ear. The channel crackles with the sound of his success. All units, clear the building. Target is mobile outside. Regroup at the vehicles for pursuit. Vector north. Move! Move! You still speak their language. The building is exhaling. The pressure is gone. Directly ahead, the polished chrome doors of the main elevator sit closed and unguarded. The long way down is open. Howard stands alone inside the steel box. Floor numbers tick down. 30, 20, 10. Watching the lobby feeds now. It's beautiful. You actually flushed them out. They're all outside, scrambling for the vehicles. Howard leans back against the metal wall, letting the vibration of the descent shake the tension out of his shoulders. Too quiet. After the noise upstairs, calm feels like a trap. Or it feels like winning. Shut up and enjoy it. My ride's looping the block, 90 seconds. Walk out like you own the place. The chime rings, the doors slide open. Empty. Howard crosses the marble floor, his footsteps echoing in the silence, the quiet aftermath of a perfect lie. He pushes through the doors and steps onto the sidewalk. The rain is heavy, blurring the city lights. The PID would never stop hunting Howard after tonight, But Howard knows that surviving the hunt isn't the same as winning the war. Nethervale doesn't mourn the people it breaks, and it certainly doesn't celebrate the ones who survive. End of book 2. I wish I could listen to your chapter songs, but alas. Alas, streamer mode. Alas. Alright, into the Inferno. There's a smart way to handle this, and then there's Howard's way. Ignoring the exit ramp, he goes all in against the untouchables. Time to drag the ugly truth kicking and screaming into the light. Hi, baby. Look at that little beep beep crow. Loathe rituals and malevolence. Ooh. A baby. Oh my god, I'm so excited to check my trail cam. Ah! I wonder if it'll pick up any crazy flashing from this lightning. Ooh. Ooh. And I skipped the last one, but the last one didn't have baby corvids. Yeah, these video segments are really where the Remedy Games influence is shining bright. Lovely, lovely. Alright. We're done looking at a crow, so I'm out of here. Nethervale is still trying to kill him when the driver arrives. A concussive sub-bass thrum shakes the pavement. The fog parts violently as an oxidized violet rig tears around the corner. It rolls nearly onto its side before snapping upright and slamming to a halt inches from Howard's knees. The passenger door kicks open. The driver sits stone still, face hidden by a helmet. There is no steering wheel. The driver's gloved hands rest motionless in their lap. Thick black data cables snake out from the base layer helmet, feeding directly into the dashboard. The car and driver are no longer separate. You look like you just pissed off a lot of expensive people. Get in. Whee! Adventure! DK's ride, I assume? Howard throws himself into the passenger seat. A neural command hits the engine and the machine screams, launching forward before Howard can even pull his second leg inside. Acceleration pins him to the leather. You are taking the brunt of this on your right side. Expect a massive, ugly bruise on your hip tomorrow. Alright. Oh, opportunity missed! I bet it's the pen. Eyes forward, watch the street. Howard keeps his gaze locked straight ahead, watching the heavy fog rush past the windshield. Sharp pressure in his thigh is ignored as the cabin fills with the harsh whine of an incoming transmission. DK's voice bursts through the car's speakers. Holy hell, I can't believe that actually worked. Hope you saved some luck for the ride home. A nice 1312 tattoo. Where am I dumping him? 2 seconds of dead air pass. Inside this rig, it feels like 10. Boy, lady, coordinates! I'm working on it! As long as the ride has cup holders, I'm good. Yeah, DK, breathe. It's okay, just do your best. Thanks, Howard, I'm on it. Just give me a second to reroute. Fantastic. Flying blind to the target on my back. You better have deep pockets for this, DK. On the dashboard, a proximity sensor screams in a sharp red pulse. Howard looks through the rear glass. 3 PID pursuit drones are tearing through the mist. We're marked. No shit. The driver's helmet tilts a fraction of an inch to the left. In immediate sync, the heavy rig rolls 90 degrees, banking hard between 2 tower blocks. Jet, you're too exposed! The engine screams. The car stops climbing and noses down towards the heavy blanket of gray fog that swallows the city's roots. Foundation? Are you insane? One support column and we're done. Pull up! Relax. Spent 5 years running contraband through this fog. I know where the walls are. The car plunges into the darkness. The neon lights vanish. The world becomes a swirling gray void. True scale of the city reveals itself. Massive concrete pillars loom like the ribs of a rotting leviathan. The rig drops into a terrifying, high-speed slalom through pitch-black spins, trusting nothing but the driver's memory to keep them from being smeared across the cold industrial concrete. Radar's clean. We lost them. The words barely register before a new alarm shrieks. Solid yellow. Collision warning. A collapsed industrial crane bursts out of the gray, hanging directly across their path. There's no time to stop. Shit! Brace! Alright, hope for a miracle. Keep your eyes open and watch the end come. Sacrifice your arm to shield your vitals. You know what? Let's go with that one. Howard aggressively twists his torso, throwing his shoulder forward to take the brunt of the hit. The crane's counterweight shears through the passenger door. Metal folds, glass explodes. The impact drives through his shoulder, through his collarbone, through everything. The rusted iron shatters his arm, but the crushed door still caves in his side with the force of a wrecking ball. The world spins. Sparks shower the fog. The rig skids to a halt on a wet concrete ledge. Howard! Jet! Talk to me! Howard tries to inhale. He can't. His chest doesn't move. Howard! Answer me! The driver looks over at the passenger seat. Fuck! Howard looks down. Where his ribs should be, there's only jagged metal and dark, spreading wetness. Get up. Get the fuck up. You've been hit worse than this. The driver unbuckles and grabs Howard's shoulder, shaking him hard. Hey, look at me. Don't check out yet. Earn my paycheck. The diaphragm is severed. The lungs are flooding. This is fatal. You tried. You didn't run. You didn't leave anyone behind. Jet! Losing his readings, he's flatlining. Howard! The cold rushes in. Heavy. Absolute. We're out of time. Howard closes his eyes.
This
is bad. Really bad.
Worse than usual.
Worse than usual.
Open your fucking eyes!
I forgot these red.
Okay. Time's up, I guess. No, we're not doing this. You absolute shit stain. Not like this. Not fucking ever. The body's slipping.
It's all right. Let it go.
Yeah, let it. Howard! You motherfucker, dying is fucking forbidden! Do not fucking die here! Get the fuck up!
Getting the fuck up is a little tough when you don't got no lungs. Crashborn! Darkness. Absolute and heavy. Heavy as water at crushing depth. A void where time goes to die. Ribcage is pulverized. Heart's barely pushing sludge. They have to scoop the rest of it out. I don't care what you cut away, Doc. Keep him breathing. Is that a drill? I hate the dentist. Oh, so the ones I've updated cost less dice. That's good. We got 2 left. One's a -2. Let's roll. Ooh. Alright. Consciousness snaps back like a broken wire. A blinding halo of white light cuts through the pitch black, buzzing like an angry hornet. Howard's jaw unhinges in a reflex to scream, but there is no air in his lungs. Neural integration is rejecting the interface. Hold him down. Heavy hands pin him to the bloody steel. Liquid fire floods his veins. The white halo flickers, shrinking, threatening to disappear again. Alright, the darkness is lifting. Find the light! Howard's eyes snap open to a concrete ceiling and the scent of antiseptic. He lies on a blood-stained table. His arms are gone. In their place, 2 heavy industrial limbs hang from his shoulders like loaded weapons. Below them, a torso of seamless synthetic flesh, lacking any of the scars, hair, or natural contours of a human body. He flexes his new fingers. They are long, skeletal, and sharp, more claw than hand. Had to amputate at the shoulder, both sides. Crash turned your bones to powder. The torso is custom. It's not pretty, but it's bulletproof. Where's the coat? Howard's eyes dart frantically around the room. Oh, Rose was in our coat. The tech doc points a wet finger towards a pile of rags on a chair. It's ruined, soaked in blood and oil. He was going to burn it. Howard tries to launch himself across the room, but the physics are wrong. His human legs buckle momentarily under the crushing new weight of his steel torso. He forces his exhausted leg muscles to carry the tank he has become. He grabs the trench coat. It's torn and stiff with dried blood. He clutches it to his chest, his metal chest, and scans the room. Bathroom! Through the back, but Howard doesn't wait. He kicks the rusty door open and slams it shut behind him, engaging the lock. He leans against the sink. The mirror is cracked, splitting his reflection. No, turn away. You're not ready. He looks down, refusing the mirror. He doesn't want to see the scene where man ends and the machine begins. His steel hands tremble as he reaches into his pocket. His fingers brush against weighted die. Lucky charms that clearly failed him at the tower. He closes his metal fist around them and tucks them away. He reaches back in and pulls Rose out. Her stem is bent, the petals bruised. Rose, say something. I've had gentler afternoons. You're alive. Define alive. I'm bent at a 45-degree angle. I lost a pistol, and you smell like a battery factory. Rose's head swivels slightly, taking in Howard's new appearance. Well, look at you. Shiny, hard, expensive. Hey, at least I'm waterproof now. Great, now you can brood in downpours with maximum efficiency. Just don't rust. Howard doesn't say anything. You kept your hand over the pocket when we hit. He looks at his metal fingers. The last thing you did, you covered your heart. You covered Rose. I promised to keep you safe, and I almost got you killed. You almost got killed. You took 90% of the impact. I just got rattled. So don't go getting weepy on me. Just try to dodge the next building, okay? Howard carefully places Rose back into his pocket. He looks at himself in the mirror. The shock is fading. All that's left is the mission. He straightens the coat. The fabric screams in protest, seams popping at the shoulders as they struggle to contain the heavy chrome underneath. There goes the armpit and the elbow. Add new coat to the revenge list. Howard straightens the collar one last time and opens the door. 3 people turn to look at him. The tech doc, wiping blood off a saw. DK looking pale. And a woman he doesn't recognize. You're the driver. Sometimes. The name's Jet. You're the guy who owes me a new passenger door and a new upholstery cleaning. You have any idea how hard it is to get blood out of perforated leather? Left a lung in your back seat. Call it a trade. You ever tried club soda? Heard that gets blood out. Haha, you banked left. You shielded yourself and exposed me. The room goes silent. Jet doesn't flinch. She holds his gaze, cold and unapologetic. Reflex. Pilot survives, mission survives. If I die, we both hit the ground at terminal velocity. You're welcome. DK steps between them, raising her hands to cut the tension. Okay, enough. We have a bigger problem. She points towards a wall-mounted screen. Rogue agent, armed and extremely dangerous. Suspect is linked to the Elysium Tower massacre. Footage shows the shattered lobby, PID troopers, and a blurry still of Howard's face. Massacre? Nice touch. You have to go public, but without evidence, nobody's going to believe you. Every screen in the city's running that broadcast. Howard watches his own wanted poster disappear behind another replay of the tower. They're scared. That's why they're lying. Jet lets out a dry laugh and reaches out for her helmet. Heartwarming, truly. But I don't do revenge quests. I do transport. And since my car is currently a piece of modern art, I'm cutting my losses. Good luck with the revolution. She turns towards the exit. You drove the getaway car. PID saw you. You're already in this. Yeah, you just want to renegotiate your rate. Let's hear it. Jet freezes, her hand hovering over the door handle. She swears under her breath, a creative, sharp string of curses. Okay, let's see if we got anything to spend. Nope. Oh, we got plenty now. Dual drone shoulder rig for full battlefield control. Lightweight combat arms. Custom-built replacement torso wrapped in synthetic skin with ballistic plating beneath. Combat arms, dual shoulder rig. Still got our spectral sight. Our neural archive, and approval. Though it sounds like approval is going to be where the problem is. Fine, but only because I value my skin more than your cause. And for the record, the meter is still running. Triple rates for public enemies. Before the deal is even sealed, a sharp buzz cuts through the room. Howard's comic lights up. Caller ID, Kiri. Don't answer that. This smells like a setup. The ringing stops. A second later, a text notification appears on the cracked screen. Don't go home. DK's place compromised. The Crow. Midnight. DK's thumb swipes across her wrist comm. A small holographic display springs to life. The grainy feed stabilizes. 3 armored PID agents are tearing apart her living room. Lilith. Yeah, who's Lilith? Lilith? DK's teenage sister. Oh, who was the one in the sushi place? All right. Young, clever, fearless, in the way only teenagers can be. Give her a drone and something to chase, and she becomes very hard to underestimate. Her love of sushi is intense enough to blur the line between enthusiasm and criminal intent. Alright, let's see. Are we missing anything else? This we kind of already got all the concept of, just from, like, normal dialogue. Alright, we saw all our propaganda posters. We know this. Oh, yeah! This was the guy who had Rose. Let's see. We got Double We01. That's us. That's DK. Alright. So Lilith was her sister. The blood completely drains from her face. She snatches the clean comic off the tech doc's bench, her fingers shake violently as she punches in a number. Pick up, come on, pick up. Hello? Lil, listen to me. Don't go home. D? Stay away from the building, do you understand? What's going on? You're freaking me out. You need to get to the Foundation, right now. Use the old freight tunnel, I'll meet you there. She ends the call and slumps against the workbench, gasping for air like she ran a mile. Alright, Lilith knows what to do, she'll be okay. Great. We have a geography problem. The Crow's in Nethervale. I'm not driving up there. We're not going up. The Crow is mobile. Sits on the mag rails. Yeah, on a schedule. It doesn't drop to the Foundation until Thursday. Yeah, I know the bartender. That's a hell of a gamble. Howard pulls his comic from his pocket. Jet's head snaps towards him. Bad idea. His thumb stops above the screen. Registered device, active signal, easy trace. Howard tosses it onto the workbench and brings his new steel fist down on it. The device vanishes into a spray of glass and plastic. Removed. Forcefully. Leaving the wreckage on the table, he turns to DK. She silently hands him the tech doc's comic. His new metal fingers are surprisingly precise as he dials a number from memory. Hey, my comic is not a commit crimes device. Ask first. The line rings and connects. The Crow, if you're calling to complain about the music, don't. It's Thornfield. Don't hang up. Howard? You've got a lot of nerve calling here. You know how hot you are right now? I know, but you need to listen. You're all over the news. I got a bounty on your head. Why are you calling me? I've got a meet. Can you bring the bar down so I don't get sniped? I have a meeting. I need a safe room in the Foundation. No, absolutely not. The bar stays where it is. I'm not losing my license for your vendetta. Ooh, or I tell PID what's on the second floor. So that would have been where we went if we'd had the feather. 10 years at your bar, never asked for a thing. I'm calling that favor in. We only have 2 dice. We had to roll 6. We got a +2, so we've got to roll 4. Do I want to risk only rolling one of these? Gotta roll at least a 2 on each of these. Those are not great odds. We're gonna roll them both. I gotta roll them both, you know. Alright. So, okay, so if we had rolled the 2 and the 3, we would have been fine. Alright, alright. But if we'd rolled the 1 and the 1, we would have been fucked. 10 years. Has it been that long? Alright, for old time's sake. Just don't get killed in my bar. Understood. Curious coming in tonight. She gets past the threshold, all the way in, you drop the crow. That's it. Pause on the other end. Longer than comfortable. You're gonna get us both killed. Only if you screw it up. I really hate you. The call clicks dead. Howard tosses the comic back to the tech dock. I have to get Lilith. You figure out where we sleep tonight, because my place is ash and yours is washed. Alright, we need a blind spot. Foundation is our only bet. Jet sighs, a long annoyed sound of resignation. I got a container in the lower docks. You can crash there. Temporarily. She digs into a pocket, pulls out a worn keycard, tossing it to Howard. Don't touch my stuff. A metal box? Perfect. It'll match my outfit. Saving us twice in one night. I won't forget this. Forget it. Just add it to the tab. I'll get Lilith. Meet you all later at the container. She grabs her jacket and is gone before anyone can argue. Right, well, I have a car to unfuck. Gotta get it moving by midnight. Try not to schedule any more collusions before then. She leaves too. Now it's just Howard and the tech doc in this clinic. Or whatever it calls itself. Alright, if you ever need a favor, you've got one. Yeah, sure. Just get out and take your bad luck elsewhere before you make this place famous. Foundation air hits like a wet towel. Thick, humid, smelling of sulfur and fried noodles. Somewhere in the dark, a Magway train screams past like a metal ghost. The vibration travels up his boots and into his teeth. Well, can't go meet Kyrie like that. I've looked worse. Worse isn't a flex, Howard. You need 2 things before midnight. 1, a new coat. Preferably one that doesn't tell a whole story the second you walk into a room. And 2, a new comic. The Foundation Mall experience! And yes, before you whine, it's necessary. Besides, I'm doing you a favor. New coat means you'll look slightly less pathetic. New comic means you can call for help when you inevitably do something stupid. I have no dice. She is correct. Check your inner lining, left side. You stash emergency dice there, assuming the crash didn't incinerate it. Howard reaches into the tattered lining of his coat. His metal fingers brush against a few dice. It's not a fortune, but it's enough. You remember my pockets better than I do. I live in your pockets, Howard. The rent is terrible, but the entertainment is non-stop. All right. We got a new place. We in the basement now, baby. Propaganda poster 2. Nikki's studio. Ribbreaker Passage, Drowned Velvet, Bacall, Gutter Arcade, and Static Uncles. Well, let's start at the propaganda poster. A wet, soggy propaganda poster clings to the wall like a parasite. It insists on being seen. Pay your debt to society! Are you a fugitive running from the law? Financial delinquency, manslaughter, sexual assault, or even unauthorized journalism? Matters not. Turn yourself in today and volunteer at the Nethervale Project. Prove your worth to society with labor. Your sweat will wash away your crimes and build our future. Labor shortage and overcrowding fixed in a single move. Corpos can be efficient when they want. NVPD and the city-state government and New Stratum strongly oppose the idea. The Nethervale Project proceeded as planned. Back then, they still had enough shame to pretend they stood for something. Statistical record. 80% of prisons in New Stratum were classified as for-profit. Ownership. New Genesis, Ectovision, RR Industries. So the corpos squeezed, shut the prisons, dumped the whole stinking mess into the streets, and the police and the state dropped their pants and bent over like always. Fucking pathetic. What were they supposed to do? Stop kissing corporate ass for 5 minutes and do their damn job? Consider the arithmetic from a purely pragmatic standpoint. If your moral framework is sufficiently flexible, and your interpretation of anti-corruption statutes even more so, the deal was mathematically sound. The arithmetic gets much less elegant when you remember the percentages had names. Howard turns away from the soggy paper. He can almost hear the rhythmic clanging of hammers from the lower levels, the sound of 1,000 debts being paid in a hole the sun never reaches. Alright. Let's go Gutter Arcade. You know what? I can't turn down an arcade. I can't resist an arcade. Are our dogs down here? I want to find my dogs. The Gutter Arcade is a dead-end alley where neon signs buzz loud enough to kill a headache. Center of a small crowd, a man with jittery hands and a smile missing 3 teeth stands behind a makeshift table. Step right up, step right up. Test your side against the light. 3 cups, 1 prize. His hands are a blur. 3 rusted metal cups slide, scrape, and orbit each other. A single gleaming die flashes beneath 1 cup before being trapped. The eyes lie, the hand is swift, but fortune favors the sufficiently observant, or the sufficiently stupid. His visored gaze lands on Howard. Oh ho, big guy! All that metal must weigh down the perception, or maybe you're just rich and bored. Tell you what, simple rules for the heavy hitter. You put dice on the table, and if you find the lady, I double it. You bet 1, you get 2, you bet 4, you walk away with 8. You miss, I keep the change. High stakes, simple math. Can your processors handle that? You know what? Why don't we try it? We're in for 4. We're in for 4. Communist die! Yeah. Oh, which will just be a roll of 4. That's actually pretty good. All right, let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it. Listen. 2 cups land with a hollow clank. The third, the middle one, has a faint solid thud as the die inside settles. It's in the middle. The pattern is a repeating sequence. Left, right, middle, swap. Left. I saw it. Okay, I didn't see it, but I felt it. Same thing. This is an insult. Just pick one, and when it's the wrong one, break the table. Shuffling stops. The 3 cups sit in a line. Moment of truth, big man. Where's our little friend? Point and pray. All right, we're going with the middle. We're going with our perception, boyo. Ah! Impossible. I heard the thud, I was sure. Unless he tapped the table with his ring to mimic the sound. Another round. Fortune is fickle. Alright, that was not my greatest concept. Because we're like brokey now. Yeah. My guy is still here! Did the rest of these do anything for me? We still got his collar! I want him. I want him back. He is my baby. Oh, I did have a paperclip. Well. Oh, that's right, because M.I. like put it in my hand when he was doing the like gifts and the reads to everybody. Yeah. Interior Static Uncles is a claustrophobic nightmare. It's a hollowed out Magway carriage jammed into a concrete alcove. Every inch of the walls is covered in tech rot. Stacks of cracked screens, wire nests, and bins labeled with nonsense like "works sometimes" and "do not ask." Behind the counter sits the uncle. He's wearing 3 pairs of goggles on his forehead and is currently soldering a toaster to a radio. I didn't steal it, it was trash. Oh, you're not alternated, you're just big. I need a comic. Good, straight to business. I got shells of them, but you gotta narrow it down. You want sturdy, steeled up, or stupid cheap? He kicks open a rusted toolbox. It slides open, revealing 3 devices nestled in oily rags. Alright. Give me the whisper for 2 dice, or this place gets a new ventilation hole. Oh, alright, let's buy the mystery, because we only got... This is all we got. This is all we got. You are once again reachable. Tragic. 1 crisis averted. You are now capable of calling for help, even if your pride won't let you. Shop smells like damp fabric and lavender. It's a narrow, dimly lit corridor lined with racks of clothing that sway gently from the vibration of the Magway trains overhead. Sitting on a pile of rags in the center is the vendor. She's sewing a button onto nothing, just stitching the air. I am Velvet. You are loud. Your voice, your texture. You feel like sandpaper grinding gears. You hurt the air just by walking through it. Why are you sewing nothing? I am not sewing nothing. I am repairing the ghost of a jacket that was burned yesterday. Alright, sorry, I'll walk softer next time. Ooh! A new secret insight. You are always sorry. Sorry for the noise, sorry for the space you take up. Sorry for being a weapon in a room of glass. You try to walk lightly, but your regret weighs more than the mental. Softer won't help. You'd need a different soul for that. I'm here to buy a coat. To hide the metal or to hide the man? Never mind, it's the same thing. Sure, I need something that doesn't stand out. Velvet stands up. She moves like she has no bones. Wait, I cannot fit a coat to a ghost. I need to measure the displacement. She pulls a rusted tape measure from her neck. She doesn't touch him with it. She holds it 3 inches from his metal plating, measuring the empty space around him. You are a difficult size, metal man. You are an extra large in sorrow, but medium in hope. She leans closer, squinting at the length of his boosted arms. Impossible in width. I cannot put sleeves on you. Too long, too hungry. You need a vest. Boring. You want function over form. You want to be a wall, not a window. Fine. Let us cover the noise. She turns to the rack and pulls down 3 identical-looking vests. This is the survivor. It has seen violence. It knows how to take a hit. This is the mule. Reinforced lining, extra hidden pockets. You can fit a shotgun, a bottle of whiskey, and a spare arm in there without ruining the silhouette. And this is the standard. It keeps the rain off, and if you get it on fire, it melts to your skin. All I can buy is the standard. Ha. Plus 10 total. God, I wish I had that. Velvet sits back down on her pile of rags and resumes stitching the empty air. Now get out. You're blocking my light. Howard bundles the heavy fabric under his arm and steps back out onto the wet grind of foundation, Magway thunder rolling overhead. He sheds the old rags and pulls on the new vest. It sits right. With a terrifying delicacy, his massive metal fingers pinch the stem of Rose. He lifts her from the filth and tucks her safely into the fresh breast pocket of the new vest. Nice, clean pocket, soft fabric. It's like you upgraded my prison cell. And, oh, is that Dice? Did you rob her, or did she just forget to empty the pockets? Either way, I'm calling it a finder's fee. Oh, 3 dice. All right. We're gonna need them. We're gonna need them. Howard steps away from the storefronts, the weight of the new vest settling over his plating. All right, we're set. Now we wait. Wait here? In the open? Brilliant. You really want to be found. We need to stay still for once. Standing still gets you caught. You drift. The foundation is a maze. Dead drops, forgotten stashes, people looking for muscle. Besides, we spent a lot of dice back there. Maybe we find something useful in the gutters before we go confront the past. Worst case, you get grimier. Best case, we get richer. Either way, let's go. Alright, she do be right. She do be right. We could use a little bit of dice backup. Sorry I gambit them all away. Oops. The delivery van sits abandoned in the middle of the street. One front tire is blown out, leaving the front corner resting low. The vehicle is dirty, with fresh dents and scratches along the sides. You know, what we got? Weird Co. Delivering better tomorrows. Howard crouches beside the wheel, tires completely shredded, and a closer look at the exposed rim reveals a clean puncture hole. Howard wrenches the heavy door open and slides halfway into the driver's seat, getting a better look at all the compartments. Check the sun visor! A small handful of dice clatters into his lap along with expired parking stubs. Woo! Glove compartment! Crumpled toll receipts and old napkins, but buried in the back he finds a small pocket radio. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Center console for extra cash. Aww. Yay! Alright, let's see what's in the back. Rear door swings open without resistance. The bay is completely empty. Deep scrape marks scar the floor, leading toward a dead man sitting against the wall. He has a clean bullet hole in his forehead. Search him! The man's hand is still wrapped around a delivery manifest. Moisture has fused most of the pages together and bled the ink, but the final line is legible. Delivery confirmed. Straight out the back. This painter of the edge of the loading ramp, whatever is back here was incredibly heavy, and the attackers dragged it out in a hurry. Tucked in the corner where the floor meets the wall, he spots a thick metal bolt. He picks it up, turning it over in his hand before quietly pocketing it. Well, you're right. Whatever happened here, he doesn't need to get involved. But we got a lot of cash money for it. Thank you, Dice. Mama's Finest! Man, maybe we should have gone to Mama's Finest instead of, like, the lavender one. So I really liked that lady. That's why I immediately bought that without shopping around. Stall is little more than a rusted metal awning welded to the side of a massive ventilation pipe. Behind the counter stands Mama. She's a mountain of a woman wearing a stained apron and stirring a large boiling pot. She stops as Howard approaches. She looks him up and down, whistling through a gap in her front teeth. Ha! Look at this! You look like you tried to wrestle a Magway train and the train won. It was a draw. Harder than the concrete down here. Respect. She leans over the counter, grinning. Her presence is overwhelming. How much for a bowl? Price is 1 story. Any story. Make me like it, soup's free. Bore me? 2 dice. Let's see. Tried to hang myself, interrogated a corpse. We did not do that. Did not do that. Did not do that. Man. Technically we did do this in the past. Let's go with went to an art exhibition. Drugged us blind. Had to walk through the whole thing using just my nose. Upstairs people are sick. I like it. Soup's free. Mama scoops a heavy ladle of broth and slides the chipped bowl across the counter. Mama's fish soup. Boiling fuel for dialing detectives. Howard carries it to a rusted table, plastic stool groaning under his new weight. He takes a spoonful. The taste is aggressive. Brine, chili, and stale oil. It burns going down. Hey, insight point gained! There, that'll put hair on your chest. I still prefer Hero's sushi. Fancy fish like that stays upstairs. Hero doesn't deliver to the gutter. A hooded man in the worn uniform of the Foundation Police Department lowers himself onto a crate beside him. He nods to Mama, who wordlessly brings him a bowl. Officer Timurkhan. Howard doesn't stop eating, but his shoulders tense. Relax, if I wanted a bag yet, I brought a squad, not a spoon. He slurps his soup loudly, wiping his mouth with the back of a gloved hand. Saw you on the feeds. PID's got a kill order with your face on it. Armed and extremely dangerous. Makes you sound interesting. Yeah, what you want, Timur? You poked the bear, Howard. Here to see if you have a plan or a death wish. Consider it's a chat between two guys who hate the PID. Haven't seen them this scared since the riots. So, you gonna tell me why half the city is hunting you, or do you got a guess? Let's see. Followed a lead, led me back to them. It always leads back to them. But this time, that fear you put in them, it's a weapon. Don't waste it hiding in the pipes. If you're gonna burn something down, make sure PID feels it. You sound like you'd help. Can't pull the trigger. FPD tracks my weapons usage. But I can load the gun for ya. And I have a hell of a bullet right here. I've been looking into PID for a while. Started with a budget leak. Usual corruption stuff. Then, I found something bigger. A Magway train that runs off the books. Officially, doesn't exist. Still makes the trip between the burnt Eden Corp station and Vortex Bay. Aha! Kept a drone on it for 5 days. Got the whole thing on chip. It's worth checking out. Might be what you need to make them feel it. Alright. Let's see what they're hiding. Timurkhan gives a single firm nod. Give me a day or two. I'll find you when it's safe and bring the chip. Just stay alive until then. A brief pause. Something almost respectful passes between them. Next soup's on me. Looking to the Foundation, detective. He turns and disappears in the thick steam from the ventilation shafts, swallowed by the dark. Howard looks down at his own soup. The soup is cold now, a thin skin of grease forming on the surface. Eat your soup. We're gonna need the energy. Alright, we got another insight point to spend, though. Ooh. Maybe a point of intelligence? Maybe we can finish out our virtue. I could finish out our virtue. Our sensory, that's pretty good too, though. Sorry, anger and foolishness. I'm neglecting you one way or another. Let's finish out our perception. So yeah, we now have the self-weight and the right wall. Oh, another propaganda poster! A weathered propaganda poster flaps against the damp wall. Waving like the defaced flag of a long-dead empire, it shouts its message in bold lettering. We rise together, or we sink together! We are the architects of tomorrow, building your dreams today. Your sacrifice of sunlight and open air today becomes security, wealth, and unity tomorrow. We ascend together into the heavens, or sink in the mud. The Foundation wasn't always the Foundation. It was once the whole of New Stratum. It existed on a nice edge, a tug-of-war between the state corpos and crime, an orgy of decay. But it stopped being enough. Corpos started this race to reach higher and higher, climbing up as if in a frenzy to reach the sun. In that race, they took things from people they didn't even realize they had. The sun, clean air, and their health. The The worst part, nobody even noticed until it was gone. Amazing what people learn to live with when there's no other choice. And they didn't take those things. People handed them over, wrapped in posters like this one. Oh, absolutely. Dress obedience nicely enough, and you hardly need bullets at all. The poster rustles softly in the damp, still preaching to a city already buried beneath its promise. Alright, vending machine, Bacall, Jets container, Rib Breaker Passage. Rib Breaker Passage is a massive industrial pipe forced into service as a tunnel. The metal walls are damp, insulation peeling, rust flaking off in wet curls. Water leaks through the seams and runs down in thin brown lines. Every sound lingers. Footsteps echo, bend, and come back wrong. This place feels like a throat. A wet, rusty throat. Let's hope it doesn't decide to swallow. Don't put that image in my head while we're inside it. He moves forward. The echo of his boots stretches out, layering over itself. For a disturbing moment, it sounds like someone else walking behind him. He stops and listens. There's movement ahead, not rats. Larger. Sound of claws on grating. Multiple sets. An abstract? I was wondering why we hadn't come across one yet. It's the throat it's swallowing! Howard's hand hovers near his holster. The darkness ahead is dense, playing tricks on his eyes. It could be an abstract, or it could be his imagination. Then, soft barks, muffled, careful, as if someone taught them not to make noise. This cannot be true. Did they survive? Howard follows the sound. The muffled whines guide him through a maze of collapsed concrete and steam vents until the pipe opens into a wider chamber. And there, on an island of rubble and shredded insulation, are the dogs, Miko, Carlos, Hera, and Luca. They are dirtier. They're first stained by the Foundation's soot, but they look well fed and alert. Yeah, who's been feeding them? Who's been feeding my puppies? Ooh, +2 to detail detective, but we only need to roll 2. Yeah, we can roll some of these minuses. Because we only gotta roll a 1. Yeah, like, that felt easy. Howard's eyes narrow, tracing the edges of the chamber. He ignores the dogs for a moment, following the trail of clues. There, behind that massive pipe, the shadows have edges. Something is crouched there and waiting. Yeah, let's call out toward the pipe. Keep your voice calm. No, I do want to take them. I want my dog. Evidence suggests a guardian. I'd like to meet them. The moment Howard's voice hits the damp walls, the temperature in the chamber plummets. For 3 heavy heartbeats, nothing happens. Then the shadow behind the pipe moves. Wow. A tall, uneven silhouette steps forward and Howard's breath catches in his throat. He doesn't need spectral sight for this. It's the same abstract. It's the one from the mission. Or is it? It looks different, yet exactly how I remember. Closes the distance with shocking speed. Howard's hand flies to his holster, but he's too slow, his muscles locked in the freeze of prey. Just as it reaches him, the dogs erupt from their island of rubble. Miko yaps a sharp, piercing command. Carlos follows, darting ahead without hesitation. Luca plants himself directly in its path, his massive body a living barricade. The abstract stops. It looks down at the dogs, then back at Howard, its predatory instinct clashing with the quiet authority of the pack. It isn't a mindless killer. It is a shepherd, and listens to its flock. The abstract takes one last long look at Howard, then moves back toward the far wall of the chamber, where a smaller, darker pipe mouth yawns open. It enters the darkness. One by one, the dogs follow. Miko trots after without hesitation. Hera pauses at the pipe's entrance, looks back at Howard once, then disappears inside. Luca follows her. Only Carlos remains for a moment. He looks at the pipe, then back at Howard. He whines a soft, confused sound. Then, as if remembering something, he turns and dashes back towards Howard. He stops at Howard's feet, drops something from his mouth and lets out a single deep bark, a goodbye that echoes through the rusty throat of the passage. Then spins and bolts for the pipe, vanishing in the same consuming darkness as the others. You deserved a kind ending. They found their way home. Howard reaches down into the soot, his fingers closing around the punctured rubber of a ball and a few scattered dice. Carlos's farewell. I'm glad you saw them again. I think they wanted you to, just so you'd know they weren't alone anymore, and safe. Takes one last look at the pipe where they disappeared, and turns back the way he came. Yeah, let's see if we get a boost from the ball. Pew! Pew! A small rubber ball, its surface torn and misshapen from countless bites, ground in grime, old teeth marks, and a faint warmth that hasn't faded yet. So no bonus. Ooh, but we can re-roll from our lucky bolt. Pocket radio is a single use. The mystery! I love the mystery. It's my new favorite. Alright. Where are we headed next? I guess let's go to Lauren Bacall. The Bacall is a tiny, cramped, hole-in-the-wall shop squeezed between two massive ventilation turbines. Howard has to duck to enter. His massive new shoulders scrape against racks of expired candy and old electronics. If you break it, you buy it. Behind the counter sits the vendor. An ancient man in a stained undershirt with a thick mustache and sleepy eyes. He's sipping tea like the world can't hurt him anymore. Well, speak. Any trouble around here? Not if you pay. That tea smells good. It's tea. You talk too much. And you don't talk much, do ya? My son talked enough for both of us. You get lonely down here? Baba stops. He doesn't answer. He looks down at his tea, then looks at the empty stool next to him. Thanks for the conversation. Fill the empty space with words to prove your existence. Sonotaph. By wasting time on small talk, you committed an act of rebellion. You reminded a lonely man that he exists, and being seen is the only currency that matters. Okay, enough sentimental garbage. Give you the good customer items, not the trash I sell to tourists. I don't think I need any of these, so we're done here. Baba waves a hand without looking up. Good. Go spend your dice somewhere else. Howard ducks back out into the wet heat of the foundation. The turbines howling above him. Alright, it's ad break time, and also I need to refill my drink, so perfect timing. Be back in 3. Sure, let's go to Nikki's studio. Nikki's studio. The building smells like turpentine, old paper, and someone's attempt at frying fish 3 floors down. Howard's knock gets answered by a chain sliding, then a deadbolt. The door opens. Nikki stands there. Her almond-shaped eyes go wide, then narrow, traveling from his face to his shoulders. The heavy industrial limbs hanging there. Oh, that's right, going to her apartment to check out her thing. I expected you to look different after the news. I didn't expect a masterpiece of industrial trauma. Come in. The studio is one large room. That is the definition of a studio. Living space collapsed into one corner, mattress on the floor, clothes draped over a chair. The rest is work. Walls plastered with pages, a desk buried under tablets, scribbled notebooks, empty cups. Sorry about the mess. Creativity doesn't clean up after itself. She moves towards the center of the room. 2 chairs face each other, cables snaking between them to a jury-rigged console covered in warning labels she clearly wrote herself. Not for guests! I mean it, Nikki! And seriously don't touch! Crossed out, rewritten twice. The neural rigs are mounted behind the chairs like predatory insects. Want something to drink? I have water, needle beer, and something I made in a jar that might be poison. give me the poison. Yeah, sure. Give me the beer. She grabs 2 bottles from a mini fridge covered in stickers, tosses one to him, then drops into the chair closest to the console. For a moment, she just looks at him, her jaw tightening as she bites the inside of her cheeks. I'm scared. The admission lands bare and honest. I've been sitting here for 3 days looking at those bridges, trying to talk myself into calling you or calling it off. Haven't slept much, haven't written shit, and I keep thinking, what if this doesn't work? What if I just see something in there and it makes it worse? She picks at a thread on her jeans, catches herself, bites her cheek again. I'm scared of staying stuck. I mean, your titties are so shiny. What could the problem possibly be? Show me the bridges. Nikki exhales like she's been holding her breath since she walked in. Right, the bridges. She reaches behind her, pulling the 2 rigs forward. And here's how it works. She turns one over, showing him the contact points. These create a temporary synaptic bridge. When we're both wearing them, our sensory cortexes will link. Neural pathways temporarily align. Your brain won't know where you end and I begin. Neither will mine. She holds her hands in her lap, her almond-shaped eyes fixed on Howard's, waiting for the final green light. You trusted me with this. Too many unknowns, this is a bad idea. What do you think you'll see? You said it's safe. You lying? You know what? You trusted me with this. Let's do it. Alright, let's see if your ghosts like my ghosts. She helps Howard settle the headpiece over his temples. Then she fits her own, her black layers of hair falling over the wires. Brace yourself. I'm a lot. Her hand finds the switch. She looks at him once more, then throws it. Howard's last thought before the plunge is that he should have stuck to whiskey, cigarettes, and ordinary self-destruction. Then, the bridge takes him. He is standing at a train station that does not exist. The floor is water, but he does not sink. The ceiling is sky, but there are no stars. There is a single moon, except it's not a moon. It's an eye, closed, twitching behind the lid like it's dreaming of him. He turns. There are copies of him. Dozens, hundreds, lining the walls like mannequins. Each one is frozen, mid-argument, mid-pour, mid-bleed. Their faces are his face. Their wounds are his wounds, but their eyes are Nikki's. Howard looks down at his hands. They are every hand he's ever had, small and scared, cuffed and bleeding, reaching for a bottle, reaching for a gun, reaching for something he lost before he knew its name. He looks back up, Nikki's eyes. Almond-shaped and black, but multiplied. A dozen pairs blinking in the walls, the ceiling, the water beneath him. He sees a mirror. When he looks into it, his reflection is Nikki, and Nikki's reflection is a version of herself with no eyes. Ink pouring from the sockets in steady, patient streams. She isn't afraid of that version. She is homesick for it. He turns around. A third chair. Empty. Waiting. Sit with me. This Nikki is translucent. She's made of everything she's lost. And so is he. The world snaps back. Howard is sitting in Nikki's studio again. Neither of them says anything. Some experiences don't survive language. Howard quietly heads for the door. Ooh. Alright. Sure, let's go check out a vending machine real quick before we head to Jet's container. Why not? An old vending machine standing against the side of a shipping container. Snack rows are half empty. A thick layer of dust coats the glass. Sure, what we got in there? Howard wipes a patch of dust from the glass to get a better look. The remaining packages inside are bloated, their faded plastic wrappers wedged tight between rusted metal coils. But the machine survived. Look at it. Rusted, neglected, barely holding it together. Yet it's still there. Metal buys time. Time for what? Howard instinctively flexes his mechanical hand. I get it now. Kick the machine! You know what? The man deserves a little venti moment. Howard steps back and delivers a firm kick to the machine's side. The heavy metal casing clangs under the impact. Inside, a rusted coil shifts. Something rattles down the chute and drops into the collection tray. You broke it so good, it gave you a prize! He forces his hand past the stiff security flap. Sure. What do we get? What did we get? We got a clarity chew to reroll a perception check. And a rage chew to reroll an anger issues check. Maybe if we kick it again, some money will come out. He kicks again, harder this time. A shower of rust drifts through the air before settling back onto the pavement. Nothing falls this time, nothing moves. The machine has nothing left to give. Howard stares at it for a long moment. The vending machine didn't win. It simply outlived everyone who needed it. Its purpose disappeared long before it did. Behind him, the vending machine fades into the silence and the fog. Still standing. Still waiting. Alright. Nothing left but the doing. Unless a random encounter takes us! The clang of metal on metal rolls through the damp, narrow corridor, drowning out the megastructure's endless mechanical drone. It is far too loud for a city that usually prefers its damaged quiet. Someone's really going at it. Howard rounds a rusted support pillar and stops. A bulky figure in an antique-looking diving suit is hunched over a massive leaking hydraulic valve. Look at his little face, though! No visible weapons or gang colors. The suit looks ancient, hand-modified, and heavy enough to break a spine if it falls wrong. He is aggressively hammering a misshapen plate of scrap metal into the breach. Either a lunatic or a maintenance worker dressed for the wrong kind of job. The hammering stops. The helmet turns towards Howard. You look like you're expecting a flood. Not expecting, preventing. That's the hope, anyway. You need a hand, buddy? You mean that? Alright. Grab that flange, hold it steady, and... Thank you. Don't hear that offer often. Howard steps in, braces both hands against the flange, and holds it steady while the diver hammers the scrap metal into place. The leak slows to a thin, angry hiss, then finally goes silent. There. Should hold for a while. He stands up straight, his antique suit groaning under its own weight. He looks absurd and oddly heroic at the same time. What's your name? Otto. Just Otto? That's been enough so far. Planning to save the whole district by yourself? No, just my little piece of it. Same as everyone should. Good luck out there, Otto. Luck's for gamblers, but I appreciate it. You stay careful, too. He gathers his heavy tools, his blue visor flickering once before he lumbers back into the darkness of the corridor. That was weird. You should have used your spectral sight. He didn't seem dangerous. Yeah, maybe he's just human. Just a very strange, very kind human in a very strange, very old suit. Howard turns and starts walking out of the corridor. Behind him, the patched pipe holds. You know what I keep thinking? Doesn't matter if he's human or abstract. Good or bad aren't tied to what you are. Maybe they're just choices. Maybe he's an abstract who learned to choose differently. Or a human who never forgot how. Or maybe I'm overthinking a man in a diving suit. I do that sometimes. I'm talking too much again, aren't I? Howard doesn't answer, but for a moment the corner of his mouth lifts into something that would have passed for a smile in a kinder world. Make sure we didn't get any new locales from that. You know, let's roll back to Bacall just in case another random encounter happens when we do this. Ceiling is still too low, the tea smells the same, nothing has changed. Oh, your son, what was his name? Baba freezes. The glass stops halfway to his lips. For a long moment, the turbines are the only sound. Kareem. His name was Kareem. He stares into his tea, watches something only he can see. Haven't said that in a while. Can't I sit? Bubba glances at the empty stool. A long second passes. Fine. Sit. Your heartbeat changes every time you look at that stool. It's a little bit of a strange thing. If I stole something, would you chase me? You look slow. You ever wonder if staying was the smart choice? I'm still breathing. That's smart enough for today. Alright, we'll go with the your heartbeat changes. Old pump struggle, nothing more. What's the kindest thing anyone's ever done for you? Didn't ask questions. Alright, we'll just sit for a moment. The quiet stretches, the turbines howl, Baba sips his tea, Howard watches the dust float. Minutes pass, maybe hours. Time is strange down here. How's the tea today? Baba lifts the glass slightly, inspecting it like it might answer for him. Hot. A tiny, almost imperceptible smile touches the corner of his mouth beneath the thick mustache. You want some? Yeah, thanks. He fills a second glass, slides it across the counter. Don't get used to it. This isn't a cafe. Howard sips the tea. It's scalding, sugary, and surprisingly good. The turbines seem a little quieter for a moment. Good, right. Now, business? Let me know when looking turns into wanting. Same as last time. Ugh. You know what? I think we're alright. I think we're okay. He looks back down at his glass, his heavy mustache hiding whatever expression he might be wearing. We made a friend. Howard slides the key chip into the reader and the container door swings inward with a groan. The space is longer than it is wide. A narrow tube, a lived-in clutter. Smells like engine oil and instant noodles. Got a lot of instant noodle smell down here. He collapses onto a crate. Something hard presses into his hip. He shifts, reaches under himself, and pulls out a die. Stolen? No. Rescued from neglect. This is depressing. Anyway, Kyrie. We're really going to meet her. Walk right into what smells, feels, and is almost definitely a trap. Howard rubs his left eye. The itching has gotten worse since the crash. Even if it's a trap, what if she has no choice? And that makes it better? If she's being forced, she'll still lead you right into the crosshairs. Doesn't matter, friend, victim, or traitor. That changes absolutely nothing. You still walk in, so do me a favor. Figure out how you walk back out. Oh, true, I could soak you. Get a look ahead before we commit. And there's the glimmer of strategy. I was worried it'd been surgically removed with your old ribs. So stop staring at the walls. Find some ice. His gaze shifts to a small fridge in the corner. He pushes off the crate and crosses the narrow space. He wrenches the door open, grabs a frosted ice tray, and cracks it over a chipped ceramic cup. Fills it with tap water, the ceramic growing cold in his grip. Carefully, he lowers Rose into the water. The petals stiffen as the cold bites. Rose inhales. Oh, wow. Ah, there it is. Her eyes roll back. Her petals trembling as she begins to fracture the timeline. I see rails and a Magway train. It slows down like it's about to stop, but it doesn't. I'm inside. There's something in the center. It looks like an alternated, but with 3 faces. Ugh. Even my visions are getting trippy. Yeah, is this the Magway train that Timur talked about? How should I know? I'm getting symbolic impressions of metaphysical crime, not pulling transit logs. The vibe, though, that matches what your cop friend described. You see anything about the crow? All right, I'm focusing. The crow. I see a bird. A very big purple bird. Is it him? Is he in trouble? Oh, the feather. The feather. Okay, so I'm going to assume context clues that the second floor contains a abstract that is a big purple bird, or at least close enough. And that's what we would have found a feather from if we had somehow acquired this feather. Sitting in a big armchair, reading somehow. There's a book in its hands, wings. It's very purple. She snaps her eyes open, shaking herself off as the water splashes over the rim. This is what you get when we stop sleeping and start running from catastrophe to catastrophe. She goes quiet for a second, her petals still shivering from the cold. The sarcasm drains from her voice as she looks Howard in the eyes. But that Magway thing, we should probably look at it. Howard nods, reaching for the cup. He carefully lifts Rose from the freezing water. Hey, wait, I'm not done. Footsteps approach outside the metal door. They don't need to know my flower talks back. Get in. Just wait. One day, I'll have my own legs. And I won't forget who kept stuffing me in pockets. My first act of mobility will be a very targeted kick. Right into your shiny metal! Howard slips her into the inner pocket of his vest, warm fabric closing around her and muffling her final protest. The door groans open. Jet stands in the doorway, helmet under one arm, eyeing him. Talking to yourself already? The doc warned me about neural rejection. Let's see. Yeah, you alone? Anyone follow you? Do I look like an amateur? Relax, been dodging tails since I could reach the pedals. If I was followed, we'd be hearing breaching charges, not my voice. Understood. Good. Keep that compliance levels high. It'll make the next few hours a lot easier for both of us. The inner door swings open again, letting in a gust of humid, oil-slicked air. DK enters first, followed closely by Lilith. Holy upgrades. Did they leave any of the original you under all of that? Still me, just harder to kill. You know what? They didn't replace the important parts. The vest is a nice touch, though. Very tactical chic. I think it's desperate, but we're all dressed for the same funeral. All right, fashion review's over. We need to focus. The crow drops in 40 minutes. We need to be in position before the bar hits foundation level or our window is gone. Which means we move in 10. Right. So what am I doing? She's your sister, DK. You survive. Or you decide. Let me guess. I'm on bench duty. Again. You're on survival duty. But my drones can spot ambushes you'd walk right into. You're treating me like a liability instead of letting me help. You're staying. End of discussion. Don't make me lock the door. Glad that's settled. Now move. She snaps her helmet into place, already halfway out the door. DK gives Lilith one last look and turns away. Seriously? Howard follows them out of the container. The door shuts behind him. Oh, we get a car now. Vroom vroom. So we can do a little bit extra oopy poopy. The dead end. The alley runs between shuttered shops and sweating brick, narrow enough to feel like the city is trying to close its fist. Howard's boots tap against the pavement. Each step sounds like someone following. Each stop confirms he's alone, until he isn't. A blade bites into concrete and drags out a long, ugly screech. The dark alley coughs up a figure. He limps under struggling street lamp. Patched clothes, hollow cheeks, and skin the color of sour milk. A quiquo. An eeky queeky? What's the queek? Who's the queek? Outcasts in Nethervale, people failed by the system and forced into Foundation's depths. To the city above, there are rats in the walls, feral and desperate enough to take your dice booster life if you slip. In one hand, he clutches a comic. Its screen stuttering with a hollow image. In the other, a rusty knife. He stops 20 feet out, squints at Howard, then down at his comic, then back up. Jaws a match. Peepers too, yeah. Proper greedy look on him. Definitely greedy. He takes another step, the knife lowering just slightly as his confidence grows. You're a slippery one, ain't ya? It's been half a cycle in the wet looking for this mug. Got the wrong man. Whatever they told you, it isn't me. Stay quiet. Let him keep talking. See what else he gives up. Look at that! Not even gonna fight it! Makes my job nice and easy. He spits on the concrete. The rain swallows it. Name's Plek. Arbiter sent me. Got a dispute needs settling. You're the debtor, I'm the claimant. That's how it works. So, we gonna arbitrate, or do I gotta get creative? Yeah, you mean chaotic, Arbiter? They're scammers, Plek. You got played. Yeah, alright, let's arbitrate. What's the debt? Who says I owe it? Who says? Comic says. Arbiter says. Angry bastard on the other end says. Pick one. He shifts his weight. Knife hand steady now. Let's see. Scare the little bastard up before he mistakes himself for brave. We did have a lot of anger issue up dice. Yeah. So, you know. I think with a +9. No, we still have to roll 9. So we'd have to roll pretty fucking high on those. Do we got anything that's just plain? Let's see. Whew. Yeah, we can roll this corporate die too. That'll up our odds a little. Success! 3 seconds, Plek, before I turn your spine into street furniture. Plek's bravado cracks. His knife hand drops. His feet start backing up like they got a mind of their own. This ain't over, but his voice says otherwise. He turns and limps into the dark fast, not looking back. The empty street breathes again. Near the puddle where Plek stood, a grease-stained pouch lies forgotten. Howard hooks it with his boot. The familiar heavy rattle of metal dice answers. He slips it into his coat pocket. Oh, yeah! That's what, we spent 3, we got 5. That's a profit of 2 by my math. Howard leaves before the street changes its mind. Let's go check in on Baba again. He's my best friend. We already asked him his name, so alright, I think that's all the event we got from Baba. Alright. You stay safe, man. We're just enjoying a little tourism before we get locked in, you know? Howard stops. He hasn't stood in front of it for 2 years. Buried this place for a reason. Read it. Guilt is one of the few things still keeping you human. Read the memorial. Remember what happened. On 8/7/80, Sector 6 was lost beneath the floodwaters. Gallons of water destined for Nethervale were diverted after an act of sabotage attributed to the Fuckvalers. The flood devastated Foundation Sector 6 district, destroying hundreds of homes. The district was declared uninhabitable. The number of dead and missing remains unknown. Howard doesn't move. His eyes stay fixed on the final line. It was not the Fuckvalers. The order came from Kyrie. The bullet came from you. You were impulsive, reckless. The PID, you ruined it here. He tears his eyes away from the monument and continues deeper into Foundation. Oh, alright. So that's what we were going to, the therapist to forget. Midnight Rendezvous. The silence of the Foundation is obliterated by the scream of industrial chains. The Crow Jazz Bar descends through the stagnant fog like a failing star. It lands on the docking platform with bone-shaking force, mag rails locking into place with a hiss. Above, the massive underside of Nethervale hangs like a low iron sky. Howard approaches alone. Jet watches from the upper balconies from the driver's seat. DK rounds the side of the building towards the service tunnel. East balcony's clear. This goes sideways. We have exactly 1 exit. Don't waste it. Howard doesn't respond. He pushes the heavy doors open. The interior is dark. Most of the lights off, a single lamp burning behind the bar. The bartender stands behind the counter. In her hand is a PID-issue sidearm. It's aimed at Kyrie, who sits frozen on a bar stool, her hands visible on the wood. The bartender. She didn't come for a drink. She brought a whole PID kill team with her. Howard stares at Kyrie, the woman he's worked with for years, drank with, trusted with his life more times than he could count. Terrible. Tell me she's wrong. I'm still PID, Howard. I still have to live in this city. You're a liability and PID doesn't leave loose ends. How many are on the way down? You know what? I thought there was still a person left under that PID uniform. I'm trying to keep you alive. If you surrender to me right now, I can negotiate. If they breach that door... I don't think you have that much time. Whatever you've planned to do it now. Heads up, we got movement. 3 levels up. I see him too. At least 6, maybe more. Howard, if they reach the platform before you're out, this becomes a very short revolution. So maybe wrap it up. Yeah, did you know about Harris? Were you watching too? I did what I had to. Boots hit the roof above. Heavy, deliberate, right on time. Red tactical lasers cut through the frosted glass. Last chance, Howard. Surrender and I'll tell them you cooperated. I'm done running. I won't kneel. You should have warned me. Do what you have to do. I hope it was worth it, Howard. The last word barely leaves her mouth before the frosted glass panels behind her explode inward. The bar becomes a war zone in seconds. 4 PID troopers storm in, rifles sweeping the room. The bartender doesn't hesitate. She levels the PID sidearms, 3 rounds, center mass. The first trooper drops. Kyrie dives behind the bar as return fire shreds the liquor bottles above her. Glass rains. Howard moves, finding cover behind a steel support beam. He leans out, squeezes off 2 shots. One hits, one forces the others to scatter. He tracks the movement through the haze. One trooper is down, another is bleeding out behind a shattered table. Manageable, he can work with 2. He adjusts his grip, ready to finish the sweep. Howard, contact! I got 4 more coming up the service tunnel. So much for manageable. Alright, end of the 2 in the room before the others arrive. Stay put. Let them waste ammo while you pick your moments. Yeah, let's go with that one. Alright, oh, plus we already got a +3, which helps. We got any plus intelligence? +6 total. We're probably not gonna ever do a foolishness roll, so I'll use that. -1 intelligence. We got that going for us. Alright, sure. We'll roll... So now we gotta get a 9. So... 2, 4, 6... But we can roll zeros. We can roll zeros. So let's add a bureaucratic die into the mix. Alright, baby! Woo! Thank God we added in more with all those zeros. Woo! Could have been bad. Howard presses tight against the beam. Rounds chew the edge, inches from him. Troopers fire in bursts. I'm coming in. Don't you dare die yet. They're on a clock. They know the second wave is coming. They want this done. 7 shots. 8. Reload. Trooper's magazine clicks empty. Howard leans out. 1 shot. Trooper drops before the fresh magazine seats. Car's hot, platform's clear. 90 seconds before this whole deck is swarming. Second trooper hesitates, firing blind now, spraying the beam. Howard waits, counts, listens. Click. He steps out and ends it. 2 down, room quiet. Then the ceiling explodes. Dust and industrial debris rain down as the second wave drops through on high-tension cables. 4, 5, more. At the same moment, DK bursts through the shattered door. She catches 2 troopers in the back before they can even detach. Howard, move! There are too many. Howard raises his sidearm, tracking the nearest trooper as he lands. He squeezes the trigger. Empty. The trooper pivots. The barrel rises. Howard finds himself staring into the black void of the muzzle. The trooper's finger tightens. Time slows. Howard's world goes dark. Not again. Last thing he sees before his eyes close is a massive shadow claiming the room. Theoretically, a huge purple bird.
You're going to get everyone killed. You do understand that, don't you? No, Smith just himself.
No, I don't think so. His plans are terrible. We keep dying over and over, and yet we always make it to the next mistake.
Yay!
Clarification. We remain alive by margins too small to respect.
Teehee?
Nah, we're just respawning with worse cosmetics.
You say that like this is a game.
I don't know. Looks like one.
Wait.
Something's wrong with the face. It feels heavy.
Welcome back. If you can call this back.
We're back. I like the heartbeat when these happen. The cost of staying alive. The first thing Howard registers is the smell. Ozone. Sterilant. Hot metal. Familiar now. Almost routine. Second thing is the weight. His skull feels heavier, like someone filled his sinuses with lead. Welcome back. He opens his eyes. The concrete ceiling is the same. He's on the same bloodstained table, the same workshop, the same nightmare. He tries to sit up. The hydraulics in his arm respond instantly. Smoother now, more natural. He's getting used to them. That's almost worse. He reaches up to touch his face. His fingers, industrial claws, clink against something. The sound is metallic. Is everybody else okay? Outside, pacing holes in my floor. Tell me at least I look pretty? No. You'll get used to it, or you won't. Either way, it's yours now. Alright, what do we got? He slams the door and turns the lock, sealing the world out. He walks up to the sink. The cracked mirror awaits. Half robot, half hobo. Full badass. Who the hell is that? A matte black alloy plate buries both sides of his mouth, sweeping upwards to the bridge of his nose. It is seamless and bolted directly into the bone, turning his expression into a fixed industrial grimace. Rose? Still here. She pulls herself up from the pocket. Her petals tilt at him. Still here, and unfortunately, I still have eyes. You look like a vending machine kissed you, and you kissed back. Howard keeps staring at the mirror. Say something, you're scaring me. Punch the mirror. I'm an angry boy. Well, at least I'm alive. Does it? I mean, yes, obviously I don't want you dead. You're allowed to be more than just alive, Howard. You're allowed to be upset about this. Well, I wasn't winning beauty contests before this. That's not what I meant, and you know it. Howard doesn't answer. He tries to straighten his collar, but his metal fingers lack the tactile grace to feel the fabric. He just stares at the stranger in the glass. One more change survived. Look, I know you want to stand here and count the pieces, but brooding's a luxury we don't have right now. Making sure I recognize who's walking out that door. Finish that thought on the way. You've got a very patient Uber driver waiting outside. What? Green hair? Stripper pole? Remember? Howard freezes, his metal hand hovering near the door. Why? He didn't say. You know how it is with the strong silent type. Go on, he's been standing there long enough. Starting to feel sorry for him. Howard twists the lock and pulls the door open. The workshop is quiet. The tech doc is hunched over his workbench, back turned, deliberately not looking. Standing near the exit are DK, Jet, Lilith, and the mysterious visitor. Do DK is the first to see him. When she looks up, her face goes through 3 emotions in 2 seconds. Relief, horror, and then a desperate attempt to hide both. Lilith is perched on a crate. She jumps up when she sees him. Wow! I mean it as a compliment. Mostly. Howard's gaze shifts to the man standing behind them. How do you feel? Like I owe you another thank you. Functional. What happened at the bar? Like half a man, but the good half. The robot half is just for show. Yeah, what happened at the bar? You got shot and you almost died. If he hadn't been there, the second wave would have finished us. Then you walked into the middle of that slaughterhouse like he'd been waiting for it. Covered us. Dragged you clear. No idea who he is, but he hasn't left. The guy doesn't talk, by the way. Like, at all? Howard's eyes drift back to the mysterious visitor. Still standing near the exit, his gaze as unreadable as a dead screen. How did you find us? The visitor's eyes meet Howard. Nothing moves, not a muscle, not a blink. We can spectral sight him. Are you intelligence operator? Connected to PID corporate or something else? Don't like debts I can't pay back? Mute or just traumatic? Is that really a stripper pole you're carrying? Asking the important questions every time. You can be serious for 5 minutes. The visitor's eyes shift, just slightly, towards DK, then back to Howard. I thought he would answer all our questions when we met him again. That's what Rose said. Alright, let's check if he's an abstract. He waits for the familiar green distortion that marks an abstract, but the man standing before him is entirely physical. Flesh, bone, and thoroughly human. Look like you've been through the same hell I have. Silence answers. A long beat passes before the visitor finally moves. He steps away from the exit and strides into the room until he is standing between Jet and DK. He plants his heavy metallic pole into the floor and crosses his boosted arms across his chest. Guess he's coming with us. Seriously, we have a new member now? No interview? No background check? He saved our lives. That's enough resume for now. Fine, but we're not all crashing at my place. Let me worry about that. I'll find something. I can ask an old friend. He knows the Foundation better than anyone. Probably knows somewhere. Probably. Love how solid this plan is. Who? An old contact from the FPD. You trust a cop? Trust is a strong word. We just happen to hate the same people. That's close enough. Howard pulls out his comic, presses call. 1 ring, 2. Well, if it isn't Nethervale's most wanted detective. I need a place. Figured that was coming. I know a spot in Foundation nobody checks anymore. Sending you the location. The line goes dead. You 3 stay here. Too many of us moving together draws eyes. I'll send the location once we're in. Howard turned to the visitor, finding that unreadable gaze already locked on him. Without a word, the visitor hefts his pole and falls into step beside him. Oh, we got a yelling raven outside. He's mad. He's a mad baby. Alright. We got a beam to look at. We go back to Bacall. And we got worker headquarters. We'll take them in order. Howard's boots crunch on the pulverized rubber and rebar dust as he finds a rusted structural beam to serve as a seat. He reaches into his inner pocket and pulls Rose free. I've been thinking about what happens to me when you finally get yourself killed. Sit down 5 seconds and you start planning the funeral. It's your way of asking if I plan to die soon. Yeah, let's go with that one. No, it's my way of asking what happens to me when your luck finally runs out. Howard goes quiet for a moment, his gaze lost in the lattice of rusted beams ahead. Do you ever think about your own death? Yeah, it depends on how bad the day's been. More than is healthy or less than I should. So every day that ends in a Y, then. Howard shrugs and lights another puff. The brief flare of orange warms his face in the dark. You think there's something after? Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it looks anything like the stories. Are you scared of dying? Scared implies I have a choice. I don't, so I stopped wasting the energy. I don't think I'm scared of dying either. I think I'm scared of ending before I got to be anything. You know, being brief, being small, disappearing before I ever got to matter enough to leave a mark. Yeah, you know what? You've already changed more than you realize. Howard crushes the cigarette ember gently against the bench arm, then looks at the thin thread of smoke lifting away. If I die, do you think I go somewhere? I think you'd haunt me out of spite, minimum. Oh, I'd haunt the hell out of you. Howard doesn't answer. His thumb brushes lightly against the edge of her stem. He tucks her back into his pocket, careful as ever. With a weary groan, he steps off the rusted beam and starts walking again, his silhouette shrinking against massive concrete pillars. Let's go see if we got anything new with our friend. With our friend, pal. The mysterious visitor tries to follow. His shoulders catch on both sides of the doorframe. He has to turn sideways and duck. It's almost impressive how much one man can struggle to enter a room. You gonna make it, big man? Silence. That's what I thought. You look heavier than the last time, and brought a friend who doesn't understand doors. Yeah, what's new in the shop? I want to know what Kia would have. Got some new junk since last time around. Digital locket, +1 virtue, intelligence reroll, cleaned up beanie. It was dirty last time. Not leaky pen. Ooh. We've had some repairs. I love Baba. New favorite character unlocked. The foundation grows quieter the deeper Howard walks. The pipes here are older, thicker. The concrete darker, stained by decades of steam and industrial rust. A narrow corridor opens into a massive chamber built into the oldest structural layer beneath Nethervale, the Forgotten Bones holding up the city above. Timercon is already there, leaning against a doorframe with his hands tucked into his FPD jacket. Behind Howard, the mysterious visitor scans the corridor in silence, his grip tightening around the heavy metallic pole. Here he is! New Stratum's most wanted, still breathing. I'll update my bets. Yeah, I'm not dead yet. Yet's doing a lot of work in that sentence. His eyes drip to the visitor behind Howard. Who's the muscle? Don't think I've seen him around here Don't think I've seen him around here. I'm trying to add words. I'm trying to add syllables. I'm just making things up. Alright. Found him or he found me? Hard to tell. Yeah, let's just say he's not a fan of the PID either. Doesn't talk much, does he? Doesn't talk at all. Weird ones always find each other down here. Timercon pushes off the doorframe and gestures towards the corridor. Anyway, follow me. He leads them deeper. Rows of identical metal doors stretch into the darkness. The ceiling is reinforced with massive, prehistoric-looking steel ribs groaning under the weight of the city above. What is this place? Worker quarters. Where they slept, ate, raised families? The ones who built Nethervale with their own hands. Before they started stacking civilization on top of itself. Before anyone even thought to call this the Foundation. Timercon slows his pace. For a moment, he studies the rusted doors like he's trying to see the people who once lived behind them. You ever wonder what was here before Nethervale? Before they started stacking? Maybe optimism. Maybe, but optimism doesn't pay. Still, probably some of that too. You Veilers, you built your city stealing the sky from us. And now they're building Sky Breach on top of you. Guess you finally get to know what that feels like. Same story, Howard. Just a different floor. Just higher up. Now, I know what got worried to build my city. It's exactly why I'm still fighting it. Maybe you're not as Veiler as the rest of them. He exhales through his nose, then reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small ring of keys. Inheritance. My grandfather was one of them, back when they were pouring the first layers of Nethervale. When he died, he's ended up with me. He lifts the ring slightly. 3 keys hang from it, each tagged with a faded number. Enough nostalgia. Who exactly lived in these rooms? Did you know them? Only through my grandfather's stories. Unit 12. Belonged to the cruise mechanic. Kept tools under his bed, diagrams on the walls. My grandfather said he was always tinkering, even after hours. Could make anything run. But he saw people the same way he saw machines. Unit 8. The foreman's quarters. He was the one who kept the cruise logs, wrote the reports, told the stories. Had a shelf full of notebooks in there. Years of construction gossip, rumors, names. My grandfather always said a crew works better if they believe in something, even if it's just a good story. Unit 3. He pauses at the last key, holding it a little longer before speaking. My grandfather's room. He wasn't a foreman or a chief, just a worker. Dug the tunnels, laid the cable, bolted the supports. Came home, slept, went back. Did that for 30 years. 30 years in the dark, building something he'd never own for people who'd never know his name. Said the only thing that kept him sane was knowing the walls would outlast everyone who hated him. He holds out the keys. They're all standing more or less. No PID, no cameras, just the occasional Kiko looking for shelter, but they move on if you make noise. Rats, obviously. But you've got bigger problems than rats. Anyway, choose one that fits how you're planning to survive. Base of operations. A door that locks. 4 walls, a ceiling. Place to hide, place to breathe, place to drink. To make them pay for what they did. I am, in fact, was leaning towards the storyteller. I feel like we've gone a little bit more the intelligence route. Yeah. So let's go with the storyteller. Howard takes the key and slips it into his pocket. I know what this cost. I won't waste it. My grandfather used to say that home isn't where you're safe. It's where you get to choose what kind of person you are. He'd have liked you, I think. Not because you're special, because you're still standing. He tucks the remaining keys back into his pocket, then reaches into his inner jacket and pulls out a small data chip. He holds it out. The ghost train. 5 days of drone footage, guard rotation, route logs, everything I could scrape. Howard takes the chip, turning it over in his metal fingers. Timbercon's data chip. That chip gets traced back to me. I'm not just fired, I'm fertilizer. So maybe don't drop it in a soup bowl. I'll keep it safe. See that you do. It's not a gift, it's ammunition. One more thing. He tosses Howard a die. For the road. Call it an investment in your survival. He gives a sharp 2-fingered salute, then turns and vanishes into the gloom. The chamber falls quiet again. Only Howard and the mysterious visitor remain. So, new home sweet home? Something like that. He walks towards the numbered doors, towards whatever's left of the man who once called this place home. The mysterious visitor follows, silent as ever. Above, Nethervale burns with light, blind to the dark gathering at its roots. And this time tomorrow, they'll write a new story. A crew will rewrite the rules of a game they were never meant to play. They'll force the city to notice, or they'll bring the whole sky down trying. We are ticking down. Alright. The night air screams past Kintsugi. Concrete walls rush past on both sides. Rusted pipes rattle overhead. Jet's hands are resting over her laps. Her neural interface doing the heavy lifting as she weaves the car through the needle-thin service corridor. 60 seconds to junction point. DK, tell me you're ready. The back seat, DK doesn't look up from her deck. Her fingers dance across the interface. Sweat beading on her forehead despite the cabin's cooling system. I'm ready. Beside her, the mysterious visitor sits motionless, his grip locked around the metal pole. He hasn't blinked once since they entered the tunnel. Howard watches the walls blur. His metal fingers curl and uncurl, a nervous habit he didn't used to have. He looks down at his hand. The servos whine softly with each flex. Ask DK about the junction hack, odds, fail-safes, what happens if he doesn't work. And watch Jet's hands. She's too relaxed. What's she not saying? Alright, I only need to roll a 4, and we got a 3 bonus already. So if we got any fucked up dice, this is a good spot to use them. Here's a -1 intelligence. Maybe. Oh, here's another -1 intelligence. Got any dice down here? No. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Surely the 00 odds aren't that good. Howard studies Jet's hands, resting, loose, almost bored. She's done this before. Tunnels, chases, last hook and extractions. The column isn't an act, it's muscle memory. Alright, never seen anyone drive like that without a story behind it. Everyone down here has a story. Mine just involves more G-forces than most. Tunnel opening in 5. The claustrophobic darkness of the tunnel shatters. Kintsugi bursts out into the gargantuan expanse of the main Magway artery. 4. Below them, the twin magnet rails stretch into the distance. 3. The ghost train roars past beneath them. 200-ton chrome thunderbolt that displaces the air so violently Kintsugi lurches in its wake. 2. The engine howls as the vehicle dives after it, responding to Jet's silent command, sliding into position above the rails while the chrome serpent races ahead. 1. DK, now! Determination and death wishes. So we got 28 hours. The interior is quiet. Dust motes drift through the beam of a single industrial work lamp. The mysterious visitor stands guard at the door, silent as always. Jet looks around the room, a smirk tugging at her lips. Cozy, really leans into that fugitive aesthetic. Yeah, I like it. It's got personality. Oh, we're back. We have rotated back. We went from 1 minute to 28 hours before. Okay. The timeline's jumping. It was someone's home. Show some respect. Relax, Saint. I'm just appreciating the decor. From the corner, DK hasn't looked up once. She sits on a low crate, her customized deck humming on her lap. Her fingers fly across the keys, pulling up files, sorting through the drone footage. 5 days, multiple angles, night vision. This is good intel. Timber knew what he was doing. What do you think is inside that train? I really don't have any idea, but whatever it is, PID doesn't trust walls to hold it. Or people. Or gravity. DK keeps her eyes on the screen, searching for something that looks like a weakness. He said it's a closed loop from Eden Corp Station to Vortex Bay, and it's been running like this for months. It really never does stop, at least not in these 5 days. But look at this. She taps a command. The screen fills with timestamped clips of the train approaching the ruins of Eden Corp Station. The Magway train doesn't stop, but it slows. Is that a drone? It settles on the train's roof. A hatch slides open. The drone lowers something through the opening. A delivery. Supplies? Food maybe, or equipment. Whatever they need to keep running. The drone lifts off and the train immediately accelerates back to full bore. Yeah, where is the drone coming from? DK zooms the footage in. The image grains, then smooths into a crisp high-res capture. The PID logo is unmistakable. Did anyone actually expect something else? The footage continues. The drone finishes its delivery, lifts off, but the feed doesn't follow it. That's it. Timmer's drone stopped tracking. How often does this happen? Scanning the 5-day feed? This is the only delivery. If the train hasn't stopped for months, they've probably done this a few times before Timmer started recording. Which means we don't know when the next one comes. Exactly. We know what happens, we just don't know when. Howard's eyes stay on the screen. The drone lands, the hatch opens, the container disappears inside, the train accelerates, the loop resets. So whoever's in there, they've been sealed in since the loop started. They never leave. Like prisoners. Or a crew on a mission with no expiration date. How how many people are we talking about? No idea. Could be 5, could be 50. 5 would be nice. You know what? Let's go with 5 would be nice. So what's the play? We sneak on, hope for 5 instead of 50? Or do we just blow the tracks and sell the scrap? Sneak on. Lilith, that thing is a Magway bullet. It's pushing 350 clicks minimum on the straightaways. And it never stops except for that drone. I'd call this mission off. Yeah, we did not come this far to call this off. Yeah, didn't think you would. Determination is just another word for a death wish, detective. DK shifts on her crate, the blue light of the deck washing over her face. She chews her lips, scrolling, looking at the code. Looking at the scrolling code! Bah. Maybe if I ghost hack a mag rail junction, at certain points there are safety overrides. If the system detects a catastrophic failure, a track breach, or a power surge, it initiates a safety lockdown. It won't stop the train, but it will force an emergency crawl. 20, maybe 30 clicks? And you can trigger that? If I can get into the junction control subnet, yeah, it's not even hard. Problem is what happens next. The beginning of the end. Well, we're at what happens next. Code floods across DK's deck in violent blue bursts. Lines of system architecture cascade down the screen. For a moment, nothing happens. All right. Yeah, how's our mysterious visitor doing? Howard glances at the mysterious visitor. The man hasn't moved. His breathing is so slow, it's almost not there. But his eyes, they're fixed on the train with something Howard can't name. Almost there. The screech is deafening. The sound of metal screaming in a language only the Foundation understands. The 200-ton monolith shudders, its violent momentum hitting an invisible wall. The magnetic rail's high-pitched scream drops to a low grinding growl, safety lockdown taking hold. Outside, the blur becomes a shape. The shape becomes a target. The chrome serpent speed bleeds away car by car until Howard can count them. Jammers live! A heavy mechanical thud echoes through Kintsugi. Above them, the roof panels cycle open. From the exterior housing, a cluster of folded jammer antennas snap upright one after another, rising into the slipstream like metal spears. On the deck, a new window opens, a frequency scan. The train signal spikes once, twice, then flatlines. Confirmed. External signals are cut. It's just us and them now. How long until PID notices they've gone silent? Depends on who's watching. Could be minutes, could be hours. But eventually, someone's gonna wonder why they stopped checking in. Which is why we don't have hours. We have minutes. Kintsugi dives, its nose dipping sharply towards the train's roof. The distance closes rapidly. 5 meters. 3, 2. A burning itch creeps into his eyes, threatening to blur the world. He forces them open. Not now. They hover directly over the supply hatch, caught in the violent slipstream between the car and the train. Alright. Look at DK. She's scared. Acknowledge it. Or we roll for it. Let's roll for it. Oh, we only gotta roll 3. Perfect. So we don't even gotta use one of our nice dice. We can just use like a normal dice. I think we can roll a 3. I believe in us. Boom. What? Yeah, okay, roll again. Okay, thank you! I believed in us! Howard leans closer to the glass, ours narrowing on the turbulence. He traces every millimeter of the hatch, the seams, the recessed edges. And there, along the front edge, almost invisible, a thin line of darker metal, weaker metal, a stress point. Drone's delivery arm hits the same spot every time. Metal's fatigued. Compromised. Alright, this is as close as I get. If you got a god, now's the time to give them a heads up. Howard's metal hand curls one last time, then stills. Dangerous margins. Alright. We're back. We're back in the planning phase. And we're back to the ad break. So let's see what our plan continued into on the other side of the ads. If I can get into the junction control subnet. Yeah, it's not even hard. The problem is what happens next. The alarm. Second that lockdown hits, the train screams to the PID. The response team's in the air within seconds. We'll have a window the size of a needle eye before this turns into a shooting gallery. Yeah, what if we cut the signal before it reaches? That is quiet for a moment. Then she shifts forward, her gaze locking onto the Magrail schematics with a sudden intent. I can keep him quiet. Kintsugi has a jammer. Can fry any signal the train decides to send. Train's external comms array is military grade. To fully isolate it, I need a continuous jamming field within about a kilometer. She pulls up a hollow map. The Magway's route cuts through New Stratum like a knife. Straight lines, no mercy. Jet's finger traces alternate paths branching off of it. I can take the arterials, cut north through Sector 6, loop back around. I can stay within range the whole time. Let's see. What about the internal security for jamming the outside? Does the inside go dark too? And our comms, how do we stay in contact once we're inside the train? I can isolate a frequency, create a point-to-point channel through the jammer, but you need a hardwired connection, a data port, a camera junction, anything physical. Plug in and I can pull your voice through. Until then, you're on your own. Alright, that's a dangerous margin. That's why I'm driving, detective. Just worry about your own fate. I'll keep the blackout steady. You'll be redlining through a concrete pipe. One wrong twitch and you're a smear on the wall. You're right. No, they'll still have control of the internal systems. Cameras, door locks, comms, whatever. We'll be invisible to the city, but loud as hell to everyone inside that train. The room goes quiet. Howard and DK exchange a look. Alright, suicide run through a pipe. This better work. Never said it would be comfortable. Said I could do it. Well, we'll believe them. Let's talk entry. Silence. The words hang in the air. Outside, somewhere in the dark, a Magway train cuts through the city at 350 clicks an hour. Yeah, that part. That part sounds slightly important. Howard looks at Lilith, then at Jet, and finally at DK. No one rushes to say it. Lilith finally does. It'll still be moving. 30 clicks is 30 clicks, not exactly step above friendly. Slow enough. I match speed. 30 clicks is survivable. 30 clicks, moving target, window of less than 2 seconds, one chance. You trust her math? The blue glow of DK's deck washes over her pale face. She keeps her eyes glued to the scrolling code, avoiding everyone else's gaze. Lilith paces the small room, moving right to left like a caged animal. In the corner, the mysterious visitor hasn't moved, but his eyes are fixed deep into Howard's, as if trying to pull a specific answer out of him. I trust that we don't have another option. The 200-ton monolith. Howard doesn't remember jumping. There's only the terrifying void between the car and the train, and then impact. He lands hard, his metal hand slamming down in the casing to anchor himself. The metal surface is slicker than it looks. Behind him, the visitor lands with the grace of a predator, already crouched. DK isn't so lucky. She hits awkwardly. A strangled cry escapes her as she starts to slide towards the edge. Howard's hand shoots out, his metal fingers clamping around her wrist. She hangs there for a heart-stopping second, her legs kicking in the 30-click wind before he hauls her back into the relative safety of the train's spine. Did you hear that? Concealed weapons mount. No question. 10 meters ahead, a section of the train's roof panel slides back. A gun turret rises from the opening on a hydraulic lift. Its twin barrels swivel towards the center of the roof. Behind them, the same sound. Another turret. They're boxed in. DK sees the trap and goes pale. She mouths something, probably a curse, but the wind and the jammer's field swallow her words. The first turret opens fire. Rounds chew into the roof mere inches from Howard's head, but not where they're crouched. A blind spot, accidental, temporary. They're in a small dip where 2 roof panels overlap just out of the turret's direct line of sight. But the path forward is a killing field. 20 meters of flat exposed metal slick with wind and vibration. And there in the dead center of the roof sits the hatch, fully exposed, bathed in the crossfire of both guns. The first turret stops firing. The second turret behind them still hasn't fired. Waiting for a clean shot, or maybe slaved to the first. Yeah, check DK. The wrong step puts her right in the kill zone. Howard catches DK's eye. He points at her, then at the dip in the roof. Stay. And he points at himself, then at the turret. I'll handle it. She understands, presses herself flatter against the metal. She trusts you. Don't waste that. Alright. Perhaps watch where the barrels track? There has to be a dead angle. Yeah, surely they can only go so far. Alright, we need a 6. We got 3, so we only need to roll 3. So let's do... This is Detail Detective, so we can roll one that has an extra 2 anyway, so now we only got to roll a 1. Oh, alright. To which we only rolled a 2, but success is success, baby! The turret sweeps the roof in brutal, even arcs, owning every inch of exposed metal between them and the hatch. There's a narrow blind zone under the turret housing where the barrels can't dip low enough to fire. The pause should be enough to reach it. From there, crawl the rest of the way until you reach the turret. Once you're behind it, you're safe. Howard has to move now before the train accelerates back to full speed. Alright. No rhythm, no trick, just speed, steel, and blind luck. Alright. We're not mad enough. Let's go for the one with 3 dice. We can roll our communist die, and that'll put us already to 5. Then we only gotta roll a 1 on something else. Oh, man. Alright, bureaucratic die? Will you be kind enough to roll me a 2? Maybe. We're gonna roll it. We're gonna roll it and hope. Please? Oh, no. Howard moves on the pause. Too late. The turret barks back to life before he reaches the blind zone. Ugh. Hits the roof hard and skids forward on instinct and survival, forcing himself under the turret housing before the next burst can finish the job. Obtain Armageddon Shard. Howard rises behind the turret, breath ragged. Alright, what's our arm shard doing for us? -2 to ult! Alright. Fine. Bad luck, baby. Machine is right there. One good hit, one clean shot, one violent shove, and it's done. Didn't you forget something? He definitely did. The second turret, perhaps? The rear turret, still standing, still very much a problem. He turns. DK is still pressed flat in the overlap, still alive, but she's trapped in a crossfire he only half resolved. Then, he sees the mysterious visitor. Standing in the middle of the kill zone, not hiding, not crouching, just standing there, a tube resting on his shoulder that definitely wasn't there before. Howard's eyes flick to the rear of the train, but the turret is already gone. He catches only the final moment, the entire assembly ripping free from its mount, tumbling into the dark in a violent shower of sparks and twisted metal. The visitor lowers the launcher, brushes dust from his coat, starts walking towards Howard like he just took out the trash. Oh, now he brings out the launcher. Bastard could have used it on the first turret, too. Could have saved us the trouble. Howard turns back to the turret in front of him. Now, it's personal. You know what? Sure. We got our shitty arm. Let's get this sucker out of here. Let's roll our +10. Sure, let's see if our bad luck holds, though. Oh, okay. Howard grabs the turret with both hands. He digs his fingers into the seam, finds purchase, and pulls. Metal shrieks under the grip of his Armageddon. He plants his feet, twists hard, and rips upward with everything the boost can give. Hydraulics scream, bolts groan. Whole assembly rips free from its mount. Howard hurls the scrap off the train. The turret vanishes into the dark. The roof is finally quiet. Well, the train still howls beneath them. The wind still screams its 30-click fury. But both turrets are dead, and that's the only quiet that matters. The mysterious visitor is already moving, crossing the roof with the same unnerving calm he seems to bring to everything. DK rises from the overlap, still pale. She runs across the kill zone, past the dead guns, toward Howard. They stand at the hatch. It's silent, sealed, and daring them to try. Below them, the train vibrates harder. The safety lockdown is fading. Soon, they'll be moving at full speed again. Hit the weakened seam, force the hatch where the metal is already compromised. He drives his metal fingers into it and wrenches hard. Structural fatigue gives way instantly, causing the internal locking mechanism to buckle and snap. The hatch jerks upward, its pressurized seal hissing as it finally yields. Warm air rises, the way in, the unknown. No going back now. Going in blind. We're back in the past. DK pulls up a new set of files. Cold blue light spills across her face and hands, turning her skin the color of a drowned corpse. Give it to me straight. What are we dropping into? She turns the screen so everyone can see. A rough schematic of the train. 5 cars, basic dimensions, but most of the interior is blank. Dotted lines where walls probably are. Question marks where data should be. This is all I could piece together from the exterior scans. We know the roof hatch opens here. The rear section, probably into a supply hold. Cargo, storage, maybe maintenance. Probably, maybe. Love the certainty. She taps again. A few highlighted lines appear. These are heat vents. Same pattern across multiple cars. That means occupied sections, living quarters, crew spaces. Howard leans closer. Jet's right. Probably isn't a plan. What else do we know? I know the train exists. I know it runs a closed loop. I know PID doesn't want anyone near it. That's not what else. That's what we already had. That's all I got. Exterior scans don't show interiors. That's not how physics work. So we're going in blind. The drop is blind. She points with her boosted index finger. Gangfang catches the light. As soon as I find a port, I push a mapping sweep. 30 seconds later, we got the whole layout. Walls, doors, security nodes, everything we need. Just saying, 30 seconds is a lot of time for the conductors to realize we're there. Jet looks right out a short, humorless laugh. Realize? The Nethfinder will feel us the second we touch the roof. DK's hands freeze over the keyboard. She raises her eyes. Yeah, what do you mean, Nethfinder? That sounded important. Seriously? Those trains don't have conductors, you know that, right? She looks around at the blank stares. Right, it works like kintsugi. Neural interface? The Nethfinder sits in the cockpit, plugged into a bridge. Engine, rail, locks, camera, security. Whole train runs through them. So we drop in and there's already an armed reception waiting. Probably. That's a lot of machine for one mind. Exactly. Which is why whoever's in that bridge is going to be a problem. No, that's physically impossible. One car is one thing, but a full Magway train? Internal security? Maybe research compartments? A sensory load would fry a human brain in minutes. It's ugly work, but it's not magic. You get used to it. She looks down at Gangfang, the augment that's supposed to be her advantage. When I jack in, they'll feel me the second I touch their symptoms, and they'll try to burn me out before I can even map the first car. And even if I get them out of the bridge, then what? I sit in that cradle and pray my brain doesn't turn to slag while I'm trying to find the brakes? For a second, the safe house goes dead quiet. Nobody says anything. Then Jet breaks the freeze. She pushes herself off the wall. No, you're not doing that cold. Before we hit the train, you're getting in kintsugi with me. I'll teach you what I can. That's a car, Jet. This is a Magway. I know what it is. But I also know you're the best Nethfinder I've ever seen. You don't lack skill, you lack feel. I can give you that. DK looks like she's starting at her own funeral. Alright, you don't have to do this. She finally looks at him, her eyes bloodshot and hollow. Somebody has to. Alright, we're back at it. Where'd this baby boy take us? Ooh, we got clickies. First car. And we're out of tea. Tragedy strikes. The Look at all of us! We're so cute. The welcome committee. Howard lands in the dark. The air inside the wagon is warm, dry, and unnervingly still. Nothing like the wind screaming across the roof. Above him, DK swings over the edge. The mysterious visitor catches her arm, lowers her like she weighs nothing, and drops beside them with a landing far too quiet for a man that size. They're in a supply hold exactly as guessed. Magnetic racks pin crates against the walls. Tools hang from reinforced hooks. And the only light comes from thin emergency strips running along the floor and ceiling. DK is already moving, her fingers trailing across walls and panels searching for a physical interface. Come on, where is it? A sound stops her cold. They all hear it. A heavy clank, then another, then the rhythmic synchronized thunder of multiple impacts marching closer. The lights snap on, brutal white, drowning every corner in clinical glare. Systems are back, full power. The footsteps stop directly outside the interior door. A sharp hiss of pressurized air slices through the hold as the seal breaks. The door starts to slide open. Alright, stack the crates, barricade the doors before they're through. Weapon up. First thing through eats lead. This one's got a slightly lower level. Oh, that -2 sucks my ass. Alright. Oh, plus 12 total. I'm gonna keep that, though. I want to keep that. We know this one will roll 4. So we'll get 9 for sure. Alright, I believe in us. Oh, God. Howard lunges. His Armageddon servos scream as he rips a heavy steel crate free and rams it into the opening. The visitor reads the plate instantly. He's already muscling another into place just as the first impact hits from the other side. Through the widening split, light catches matte gray plating and glowing red optics. Alternateds. Not the thin service models from the city, heavy-duty industrial shells plated in thick composite armor. The hydraulic claw punches through, grabs a crate, starts dragging it back. More units crowd behind the first. 3 units, maybe 4, all waiting for room to push through. Then, the door freezes, halfway, stuck. Howard catches the reason in the same breath. DK crouched at the far wall, gangplank buried in a panel, eyes gone blank. She's holding it. The claw keeps pulling, the door doesn't move. The barricade is holding, but only a few more seconds. Alright. 4 dice for 12. Aim at the gap, put holes in whatever's reaching through. Deploy the drones. Fill the gap with gunfire. Yeah, that seems good. We're gonna have to use it. As long as we don't roll a 0, we're cleared. The drones burst in the air and flood the gap with gunfire, shredding the lead alternateds, neck joints, and exposed hydraulic lines. Primary arm goes dead. The machine locks up in the breach, choking the push behind it. DK seizes the moment. The door suddenly kicks back into motion, slams shut, severing the trapped limb. The seals hiss. The red optics in the gap vanish behind solid steel. The breach is closed. DK remains motionless, Gangfang still buried deep in the data port like a needle in a vein. She's somewhere inside the train's nervous system. Howard keeps his eyes on the sealed door, watching the frame flex with every impact from the other side. The visitor moves beside Howard, positioning himself between the door and DK, his heavy pull braced for whatever eventually shears through. Copy. Howard? DK? The comms crackle back to life, so suddenly it feels intrusive. You got Lilith? She's safe? Yeah, she's with me. Safe enough. Now go get me something worth leaking. As Howard speaks, DK's eyes snap back from the digital void. She yanks her finger from the port. Sweep's done. Got partial layout. She taps her wrist-mounted deck, projecting a holographic map of the train's next 2 cars. Only got 2 cars before the Nethfinder cut me off. Couldn't push past the bridge. Next car reads like a lab. Can't confirm until we're through the door. Either way, we go in, pull whatever's there, and I push it straight to Lilith. I'm already on my end. Door takes another hit, harder this time. A sound like something bending that wasn't meant to bend. What is that? Sounds like something's tearing the damn thing apart. Howard glances back at it. The steel is starting to bow inward. Hostile alternateds, heavy ones. Bridge is one car past the lab, I know that much. Everything past that, she closes the projection. We find out when I jack in. The mysterious visitor is already at the forward door, pulled low in one hand, waiting. Well, where's the Neth Finder? 2 cars ahead, jacked into the bridge. Alright, how long do we have before that door gives? Not long enough to keep talking about it. Let's go! DK turns back to the port and drives Gangfang in without hesitation. Behind him, the pounding is relentless. Every impact shudders through the frame. It's holding, but the metal is screaming, seconds away from a total structural snap. DK works fast. She knows this system now. She knows where to look. The forward lock disengages. Howard shifts to the threshold, weapon leveled at the dark. Ready. The door slides open. Alright, second car. Dead man switch. If you don't know what a dead man switch is, it's where instead of a switch that you have to push to trigger, you have to release to trigger. Which is why it's usually called a dead man switch, because the concept is if you die, you stop holding this button down, and this bomb going off. A holographic map of the Magtray train throws blue light over tired faces. But the question will become whether we're going to be the ones with some kind of a dead man switch, or whether that Neth Finder that's running the train has a dead man switch. Outside, a train passes. Not theirs. Another magway cutting through the new stratum on its nightly run. The walls vibrate, dust shifts on the floor. 300 clicks, gone as fast as it came. Bold plan. Shame it depends on us finding something worth dying over. It's worth dying over. Silence falls, heavier than the dust in the air. The mysterious visitor's eyes settle on DK. He nods once, so slight it's almost invisible. Like that answer told him everything he needed to know. So we're definitely doing this, right? Like, this is happening? Howard? She's watching him, waiting. They all are. Howard lets the silence hang for a beat longer, his eyes finally moving from the screen to Lilith. If we don't make it back, somebody has to finish this. So you're planning to die down there. Listen. No, you listen. You're walking into a sealed tube full of who knows how many Neth Finder linked hostiles with DK as your only backup. You need every gun you've got. Yeah, more firepower won't help if the truth never gets out. And what we need is for this to mean something. That's not how this works. We're a crew. We go together. It's exactly why you stay. Second I'm in their system, I route everything to your archive. You're the dead man's switch. If we don't come out, you'll come out. Then you make sure the whole goddamn city sees it. Lilith wipes her face quickly with the back of her hand, angry at herself for the gesture. She's right, Lilith. The hard part happens after we're done. That's you. Yeah, look on the bright side. You get a ride in a warm car instead of jumping onto a moving train! Lilith nods. The blue light from the map catches the wet in her eyes before she blinks it away. Speaking of which, Kintsugi's a racing car, not a bus. Me and the pilot seat, Howard, DK, and him, there isn't a square inch left. So I just wait here? Jet steps in beside DK and takes control of the deck, pulling the map back up. The hollow widens, spreading from the magline into the streets around it. No, you wait there. She taps a point on the map, a junction where 2 routes converge. The magway has to take the long curve around the wall. I don't. There's an old maintenance cut that runs straight through. Tight as hell, but Kintsugi fits if I don't mind losing some paint. Her fingers trace ahead of the train, then stops at a point further down the line. I drop you on the roof, then I cut ahead through the maintenance route, pick Lilith up on the pass, and swing back in before the gap gets too wide. She taps the pickup point again. Timing's brutal. You get a 3-second window to get in. 3 seconds from what? When do I start counting? When you see Kintsugi's lights, you move the second you see him. And if I'm not ready, then you won't make it. Howard studies the route, tracing the geometry with his eyes. Does that still keep you in jammer range? Barely. That's why the timing has to be exact. Alright, this better be more than cargo. It is. Has to be. Whatever Harris was part of, whatever they did to people, to my father, this is connected. I'd bet on it. Oh, that's right, her father was one of the suicides. You think that train has more of them? More experiments? I think PID doesn't build a rolling black site to move office supplies. But if they were willing to turn a tower in the middle of Nethervale into a kill box just to watch what happens, imagine this train. Out there, no one sees it, no one hears it, no witnesses. PID doesn't do small evils. Whatever it is, they don't want New Stratum knowing it exists. And if you're wrong, we'll know when that door opens. Alright, let's see what we're working with. Let's see what the party is. The next car. Hello, octopus. A laboratory, cramped, clinical, retrofitted into a space never designed for it, and certainly not the kind built to save lives. An operation table sits bolted to the middle of a narrow train car. Around it, thick glass tubes stand in rows, each one filled with a viscous black fluid. Across from them, 2 consoles glow, both alive with data. DK crosses to the nearest one. Gangfang extends, finds the port, and slides home. Door first. The screen jumps, glitches, then floods with technical data. She punches in a command, and the heavy bulkhead they just passed through slams shut. On the second console, lines of video files are stacked across the screen. Beside it, physical reports, stapled documents marked with the red ink of PID authority. At the far end of the car, another door awaits. The way to the bridge, to the Neth Finder, to their only exit. I'm in, Lil. Data's flooding, sending it all now. You ready? Always. Feed me. The mysterious visitor takes position by the sealed bulkhead, watching it like he expects it to give way any second. Beyond it, the alternators are still tearing at the cargo hold door. When it gives, and it will, they'll be right outside the lab. I don't even know what I'm looking at, but it's ugly. She keeps working. The data keeps flowing. The pounding keeps coming. They have minutes, maybe less. Alright, examine the tubes. What's the black fluid? Howard steps towards the row of tubes. The fluid inside is thick, black, and lightless. It looks like abstract blood. The lab notes taped to the unit say otherwise. Sample origin? Unknown. Composition? Unknown. Cross-referenced against all cataloged biological, chemical, and synthetic compounds. No matches. The bulkhead behind them shudders hard enough to rattle the tubes. There's no distance left in the sound now. The alternators have reached the lab door. Just a few more seconds. I finish the uplink, crack the forward door, and we move. This is already more than enough. Get out of there. I'm not leaving half the truth behind. The bulkhead can hold that long. One last look. That's all the room gives him. Sure, let's read the reports, because, obviously all the files are going to Lilith, but, the reports, they're gonna burn here. Very classified, internal, authorized personnel only. Howard flips through, scanning red stamps, blacked out names, clipped field notes. The Crow Jazz Bar, longitudinal study on human proximity and emotional contagion? Physical state, liquid black. Application, injection. Subject instance, redacted. Post response, see attached. Harris, writing samples indicate escalating violent fixation. All outcomes logged. Page after page, dozens of them. Not containment, not protection. Field testing. They're all concepts. What concept is Rose? Oh, I didn't even notice. They are. Euphoria, regret, ambition. Oh, she's one that hasn't formed yet. That's why it's going to Eden, where the rose garden was. Problem, I can't open that door. It's not responding. I've tried everything. Nethfinder's locked me out. They're too good. I can't. She doesn't finish. The mysterious visitor moves 3 long strides to the forward door, grips the edge with both hands, plants his feet, pulls. Behind them, the lab door takes a hit so violent the frame begins to crack. The alternators are seconds from tearing through. Alright. Men work better when you question their strength. Call him out. Let's neg him. No. We only gotta spend 3 dice. Maybe we'll get somewhere. Alright. Oh, look. You know what? I feel like this is a good point to be using things. This is a good point to be using things, right? Right. Howard presses his ear to the cold metal. He filters out the chaos until he hears it. A metallic hitch for the primary maglock grinds against a misaligned housing. He knows exactly where to pull. Oh, this is all I get. I am running out of dice. Running out of dice. Oh god, it was 3, so it worked. Oh, all I saw was that 0 and that 2, and I was cry. Oh. Together, they drag against the lock, and everything the Nethfinder sealed shut. Seal finally shifts. The door opens a handspan, allowing the visitor to wedge his pole into the gap and force it wider. Howard goes through first, squeezing into the next car. DK slips in right behind him. Sound behind them turns from assault into arrival. The lab door breaks. The mysterious visitor doesn't come after them. He plants himself in the narrow throat of the doorway and turns to face the alternatives. No! He only has to hold them long enough for DK to reach the bridge. Our buddy! It's okay. Surely they'll shut down once the Nethfinder's taken down, right? Right. The warm-up. You're right, just 16 hours away now. Or I guess 16 hours ago now? Kitsugi's cabin wraps around them like a second skin, the kind of cockpit built for speed and nothing else. DK sits in the driver's seat, hands folded in her lap, Jet's helmet swallowing her head. First lesson, stop trying to drive the whole car. The bridge is gonna throw everything at you, doesn't mean you have to catch it all. She pulls her boots off the dash, leans forward. Rear cams, door locks, route suggestions. Cut what you don't need. DK's fingers twitch in her lap, searching for where to start. Stay quiet. Let Jet teach. Howard leans back, says nothing. Jet glances at him in the rear view, gives a short nod. Then she turns back to DK. All right, you ready to take us out? DK's hands stay folded in her lap. The car glides forward, smooth and silent. That's it. Slow. Feel the road. Keep the front view. Speed, steering response, brake pressure. Let the rest go. The foundation slips by outside the glass, all wet concrete, rusted beams, and one tired yellow light. You know what? Yeah, enough questions. Let her get the feel. We just gotta let go and trust. Kintsugi glides deeper into the foundation, and little by little, DK stops shifting through the noise and starts feeling the road beneath her. The movement grows cleaner, fewer twitches, smoother arcs. After one more long stretch, the dim belly of foundation, Kintsugi carves the way it came and settles into a clean stop exactly where it started. DK pulls off the helmet and sets it in her lap. Her hair is damp, she blinks, reorienting to the tight space. You're gonna be fine. When we get that train, you're gonna sit in that bridge and you're gonna find what we need and you're gonna get us the hell out. And if I can't find the brakes, we'll find another way off. There's always another way. She glances back at Howard in the rearview mirror. Worst case, we jump. How fast can this thing go anyway? You know what? Can't find the brakes? We adapt. That's the job. DK meets Jet's eyes, a new kind of steel reflecting in her pupils. One more time. Let me run it again, faster. Jet's mouth curves into something that might be pride, might be respect, might be both. I know we met your girlfriend, but can you have 2 girlfriends? Is that okay? Alright, the human component. Gotta take this guy down, yin rings. The Nethfinder hangs inside the neural bridge. Strapped upright, arms pinned, head locked back, cables disappear into his neck, spine, ribs. He looks like a component. Transparent tubes pulse beside him, feeding something into his body and pulling something darker back out. The whole structure is fused to a life support unit bolted into the floor and ceiling. This is a cage designed to keep something alive long after it should have stopped being human. A high-tech crucifix. Howard notices the second threat a beat later. Ahead, through the open forward door, an alternated is stepping into the car. Behind them, the lab is a slaughterhouse of steel. The mysterious visitor has lost his right arm and still won't let the alternateds through. Buddy! In front, the choice is between the brain in the crucifix and the muscle in the doorway. One move, one shot. You know, I'm a little put around through the Neth Finder. Oh god, especially since we got one die. Oh my god. Well, this is all we got, so hopefully we don't need any more dice, because we're screwed if we do. A bullet punches straight through the Neth Finder's forehead. He remains perfectly still. Aside from the thin red line of blood running down his brow, he looks exactly the same. Then, the alternateds fall. Metal bodies lock where they stand, then collapse, one after another. The visitor's pole stays raised, frozen mid-swing. A dead silence falls over the car. DK doesn't move. Her eyes stay fixed on the body in the machine. On the impossible scale of it. On the thought that one man might have been carrying an entire pack of alternateds through the train. She shakes her head. No, there has to be more. One man can't control this many. And the train? The train keeps tearing forward at full speed. No sign of slowing. Help me get him out of there. I need to jack in. DK, hey! Same as training, all right? Bigger machine, same job. The visitor steps in from the lab as Howard pulls the dead Neth Finder out of the machine. The body slumps forward, freed from its cage. DK is already climbing into the bridge. The weight of tomorrow. DK has been staring at the same data stream for 10 minutes. Her eyes trace the air like she's already inside the train systems. Lilith is curled up in the corner of the sofa under her jacket. Let's say you're right. Let's say there's one Neth Finder and they're somehow carrying the whole train. And it's easy. Howard clears the car, I take the bridge, stop the train, pull everything I can, send it to Lilith, and we get the hell out. That sounds like the good version. That's the only version your speedrun fantasy survives. But if there's more than one, then taking one bridge doesn't solve it. It just gets me inside the fight. You think there's another Neth Finder? I don't think one man can carry that kind of neural load alone. Alright. We go in ready for more than one. Better that than getting surprised. It'll be one. You two are worrying too much. I really hope you're right. The silence settles. The kind that only comes when a crew has said everything that needs saying and is waiting to make it real. Lilith is still curled under the jacket, breathing slow and even, like none of this can reach her yet. The mysterious visitor is still at his post. He just stands, silent as ever, watching a door that hasn't moved in hours. The weight of the mission finally starts to sink in. Jet is the first to surface. Say we pull it off. Find something big. Something that makes all of this worth dying over. What happens the morning after? You think PID just what? Releases a statement? Holds a press conference? Sorry, citizens, we've been running experiments on people on a sealed Magway train. Our bad. I don't think so. Yeah, you know what? They throttle the Neth. By the time anyone facts checks, story's already cold. Right, so if we're gonna burn them, we need to do it in a way that doesn't let them put out the fire before anyone sees the smoke. I'm thinking we don't hand the data to one outlet. We don't give it to some reformist rag that gets raided before breakfast. We seed it everywhere, all at once. Neth zines, street feeds, pirate channels, the whole underbelly. It's a lot of trust in people who might just delete it. Let's see. We don't need trust, we need weight. We need enough public pressure. They can't just throttle Neth. Maybe some delete it, but not everyone. We give the city the truth. What they do with it is up to them. Whatever we pull, it's probably going to be a flood. We need some kind of anti-fire hose plan. We're selling a revolution of corpo slaves with 8-second attention spans. Let's not drown them before they can get to the point. We link it straight to FPD and NVPD. Those two hate each other's guts. Let them go after PID for us. Can you rig up something that feeds the data out slowly? That feels problematic. I like leaking it to the cops. Risky. NVPD might hand it straight back to PID if it buys them favor, but FPD? They've been looking for leverage over PID for years. If we give them something real, they'll use it. Not all of it. Give them just enough to start the fire. We keep the rest in case they flinch. And then we'll be paying back our buddy for all of his train data. Now you're thinking like a survivor. The plan for the data is taking shape, but something else hangs in the air now. Jet leans back over the hollow and widens the map south, past Nethervale all the way to Vortex Bay. Second that leak goes live, we don't get to crawl back to our old holes and wait it out. PID will have our biometrics everywhere from here to the bay. Nethervale's done for us. Yeah, not just Nethervale. Can't stay anywhere in New Stratum after that. She drags a finger along the map, tracing the edge of the megastructure, the long curve of the outer wall, the gates that lead to the world outside. Leaving New Stratum isn't a plan people make. It's something rich people buy. For everyone else, it may as well be the moon. I don't have the dice to smuggle 5 people off this rock. Who said anything about dice? I mean, it helps. There's one thing in New Stratum that beats out dice. Network. And I got some. I know a runner who moves cargo out of Vortex Bay. She owes me. You trust her? No, I trust debt. Lasts longer. Howard watches her for a moment, the questions turning in his head. Where does she even find people like that? Illegal racing, black market routes. People like Jet don't survive that life without building a network. The better question isn't how she knows them. It's how DK knows her, and whether we're really putting our lives in the right hands. Do we have another choice? At some point, faith is part of the plan. Jet taps a maintenance route running under the southern freight lines. Kintsugi gets us to the freight ring. After that, car's too visible. We dump her, go the rest on foot, and board at the service yard. I can time the release to hit while we're moving. First wave on the road, second when we reach the bay, third after we clear the wall. The map glows between them. The route traced, the plan set. Jet straightens, gives the hollow one last look, then heads for the door. I'm checking Kintsugi. Don't do anything sentimental while I'm gone. The door shuts behind her. DK looks smaller now that the tactical talk has died down. You ready for this? We got the plan, we got each other. It's more than we had yesterday. Too many moving pieces. One thing goes wrong, the whole thing collapses. Doesn't matter if I'm ready, it's happening. We make it work. She meets his eyes and almost smiles. That's the closest thing to faith I've heard from you since we met. The mysterious visitor looks from Howard to DK. He knows what the room needs now. He slips out the door. Lilith stirs in her sleep, pulling the jacket tighter around herself. She doesn't wake. She's waiting for you to speak first. Say something. Tell her you love her! It's the perfect moment! Damn it, speak! Stop sitting there like a statue. I never thanked you for the archive. Yeah, we didn't do that. Oh, we can tell her that we love her. Should have said that a long time ago. Wait, why isn't she falling into our arms? A laugh slips out before she can stop it. That is a hell of a thing to drop on your ex the night before a suicide mission. It was honest. Bad timing doesn't make it false. Great. Now she thinks you only said it because you might die tomorrow, which... Actually, that's fair. She shakes her head, still smiling to herself, and moves to the sofa and curls up beside Lilith. I'm not saying it back, Howard. Not here. She pulls the jacket up to her chin, her voice quieter now. You want an answer? Get me on that boat first. Then you can try that line again. Maybe with a better script. Still counts. It absolutely does not count. Half counts. Try to get some sleep. I'm gonna need a clear head tomorrow. Her eyes close, her breathing slows. Howard sits there, his face warm, replaying the moment. The Magway screams past again, but this time feels like a countdown. Price of answers. Alright, here's where we find out if there's more than one Neth finder. No alternatives move. The train is a graveyard of dead steel. Still, it doesn't slow. Howard watches DK climb into the vertical bridge. For a second, she looks too small for it. Then, the machine closes around her. Metal clamps lock over her forearms. Needles bite. The cable snakes down and punches into the approval behind her neck. The visitor takes position at the forward door, his one remaining arm holding the pole steady towards the next car. Sorry, I came out dole because I'd read ahead to pole and, you know. Silence stretches until DK's voice comes through the speakers, thin and far away. I'm in. She doesn't speak again right away. The train keeps rushing forward at full speed. Whole system was his. Alternating control, surveillance, internal security, everything routed through one man. Can you stop the train? I'm looking. So far, no brake access, no stop command. Nothing in here is built to slow it down. Another silence. Howard hears the hum of the bridge, the rattle of the car, the blood in his ears. Acoustic profile unchanged. No brake engagement. Momentum is holding steady. Either DK hasn't found the brake yet, or there aren't any to find. DK's voice comes back through the speakers. I'm pulling everything. Logs, surveillance, control layers. Whole system is air-gapped. No net access. Nothing live goes out. They log everything local. That drone we saw? Not a supply run. No one else on board except that one Neth finder. That's how they ship the data out. Tell Lilith I'm routing more. Alright. Got it. Feeding now. I got eyes on all 7 cars now. First one though, something's in there. Looks like a PID containment cabin. I got full access to everything else, but the cabin interior is blocked. System tags it as abstract level 5. What does level 5 even mean? It means they don't know what it is either. Sending it to your archive too, Howard. Whatever's in there, everything in here bends around it. I think that's why this train exists. The car goes quiet again. Howard is still processing what she said when a sound reaches him from the lab car behind. Metal scraping metal. He turns. First alternated is already standing. What the fuck is happening? What happened? What's going on in there? The Neth finder is dead. The bridge is occupied by DK. There's no one left to send commands, and yet the alternateds are getting back up. The visitor sees it too. He steps into the doorway with his one remaining arm and squares himself against the opening. Howard runs through the options. Fight, fall back, pull DK out. None of it works. The lab is full of them, and the visitor has only one arm. There's no version of this fight where they survived. Alright. Find out what's controlling the alternateds. Yeah, there's a command signal, but I can't find the source. The first alternated lunges. The visitor drives the pole into its chest and throws it back. 2 more take its place. Almost there. Give me a second. Another alternated forces through the doorway. The visitor catches it across the throat with the pole and holds, boots grinding against the floor. First car. Think it's coming from there. Maybe there's another Neth finder inside that cabin. Oh boy, alright. If I go for that car, you 2 are on his own. He can't hold them all. You blocked the signal. Yeah, let's go with, come on! Focus! Howard slams a fresh mag in and fires over the visitor's shoulder. The middle tie doesn't break. One more lunge and the bridge is theirs. I'm trying. There's nothing, Howard. I don't... Wait, I think I have something. Decouple. I can separate this section. Emergency brake should kick in and slow us down. An alternated slams to the pole, ripping it from the visitor's grip. He lets it fall, draws the slug launcher, and fires. But if I do this, we lose the first 2 cars. Whatever's in that PID cabin stays on the train. The real answers are in that first car, in that cabin. This is the only chance you'll ever have to see what they're really hiding. She's trying to stay functional through the fear. I already sent Lilith a lot. It might be enough. It has to be. Don't trade 4 lives for one more answer. Howard, stop, please. We have enough. Do you hear me? We have enough. Alright, we have enough. I've made him too good a person at this point. 350 clicks, the separation hits like a bomb going off under the floor. The forward cars rip ahead, their lights shrinking into the tunnel, carrying the sealed PID cabin with them. Smaller, smaller, and gone. Deceleration throws Howard off balance. Everything not bolted down rattles, shifts, tries to keep moving forward. The alternated's lock mid-motion and drops, sliding across the floor as the car fights its own massive momentum. We're detached. PID didn't know something was wrong before, they sure as hell know now. I'm on my way. Get to the roof. I'll pick you up when you're slow enough to stand. The bridge opens. DK folds forward out of the rig, half conscious, face puffed and ghost pale, eyes red and swollen, blood threading from both ears. Howard catches her, closing around her gently as they know how. Alright, hold on. We're going to the roof, girl. She wraps her arms around his neck, weak but clinging. Howard lifts her, one arm under her knees. She doesn't let go. Sis, you alright? Why aren't you answering? Howard, is she okay? Say something. Alright, she's hurt, but she's hanging on. Yeah, hanging on? What the fuck does that mean? It means she's alive. We argue when she's off this train. Move. The car bucks again as the emergency brakes tear speed out of it. Howard doesn't loosen his grip on DK for a second as he carries her through the roof access. The ashen horizon. The visitor is already at the roof hatch, pole secured across his back. He reaches down, takes DK from Howard's arms, and pulls her up. Howard follows. The cars are crawling now, fast enough to feel the wind, slow enough to stand. Alright, we're on the roof, Jet. I'm coming. 30 seconds. Hold tight. The visitor stands at the edge of the car, watching the rails behind them. A light appears in the distance. Small. Grow and bite. Jet, confirm the incoming craft. Negative. Not us. Negative. The craft tears out of the tunnel, low and fast. Its hull is dark, its running lights off. Heavy armor, heavy guns, a PID air vehicle. The first burst tears across the roof. Sparks shower. The visitor drops flat, rolls. What was that? Fuck, something hit him. DK, answer me. Howard throws himself over DK, his metal arms and synthetic kin doing the hits. Yeah, come on, visitor. The visitor levels the slug launcher and fires. The shot punches into the craft's armor. A dent. That's all. Another burst stitches the roof. The visitor stays low, slug launcher up, tracking the craft through the fire. I don't have dice. Doo-da, doo-da. Sure, let's see what would happen if we tried the drones. Howard triggers Overwatch, but the craft's turrets are faster. A burst of fire tears through them mid-flight. They shatter before they can even fire. He drops back into the narrow dip where the roof panels overlap, using the same sliver of cover as before. Why aren't we there yet? Go faster! I know, shut up and let me drive! The next burst tears past, chewing up the roof inches from his head. Across the roof, the visitor rises to one knee. The slug launcher steadies, he fires. The round mushrooms against the hull. He squeezes the trigger again. The launcher clicks dry. Last round spent. Howard looks at DK. She's fading, but still awake enough to suffer it. Then a warmth he'd almost forgotten presses against his chest. Rose. Fragile but alive against the steel and gunfire. Her voice is as steady as ever. In all that noise, it feels impossibly gentle. I knew you'd choose this version, Detective. We don't have many moves left. Then tell me which move keeps them alive. Howard, who are you talking to? DK, is that DK? Is she awake? There's no way through this without losing something. The PID craft roars, its barrels glowing a murderous cherry red. Another burst tears across the roof. The visitor takes it standing. The rounds stitch across his chest, his shoulder, his leg. He doesn't fall. He takes one step forward, then another. His mouth opens. No sound comes out, or the sound is swallowed by the engine's scream. His eyes stay on the craft, fixed as if daring it to fire again. The craft does. He brought you to this moment. Don't waste it. I don't have some golden feather! Ugh. Howard rises from the dip and fires. The round strikes the undercarriage, nowhere near the fuel cells. He drops back into the dip, breath tearing in and out of him, gun still in his hand, even though the last shots proved nothing. The craft hovers. Turrets, patient and inevitable. It's already won. It's just waiting for him to accept it. The visitor lies face down, blood pooling beneath him. His hand still white-knuckled around the empty launcher. I'm close. Hold tight. I see the train. Tell DK we're here. We're right here. Howard looks up at the PID craft again, then the tunnel below it. The only approach Kintsugi can take. Straight into the fire lane. If they die, the data dies with them. What was all this for? We got to abort the pickup. What the hell are you saying? Oh, no way I'm leaving you there. I can still make this. PID's covering the tunnel. You come through here, they kill you before you even reach us. The data's on her. If she dies here, everything we did dies with her. Copy. No, Jet! Turn around! You bring her back! Make this count, Lilith. Make it mean something. Count? You want me to make it count? I don't want your fucking mission. I want my sister. Lilith. Stop. You promised you'd bring her back, Jet. Turn around. Turn the fucking car around. She's crying openly now, so hard the words fail to form. They just trip over one another in breathless pleas and demands. Then the line clicks dead. Jet cuts the channel. Howard pulls DK into his arms. She is terrifyingly light and cold. Her lips have gone blue. Her eyes find Howard's, tired in a way that breaks something inside him. You've reached the last line, Detective. How it's written is still up to you. Ugh. Let Rose go. Give her the one thing you never had, a chance. Howard drags himself to the edge of the train. He looks down. Below, the city stretches out, neon and ruin, hunger and excess, alive in ways he no longer will be. He reaches into his pocket and brings Rose out one last time. She rests in his palm. A life he never got to finish teaching. There were still lessons to give, questions to ask, truths he needed her to understand about a world that never gave anything for free. There's too much to say and no time to say any of it, so he doesn't. Thank you, Howard. For everything. The wind steals her words. He opens a hand. She falls. A falling star. A second chance. A tiny spark of life descending into the machine. He watches until he can't see her anymore, then turns back to face the PID craft. He stands up straight, empty-handed and lighter than he's felt in years. The craft opens fire. The rounds tear into him, drive him to his knees, but there's something peaceful in the way he falls. Face forward, eyes ahead. A man who finally set down what he was never meant to carry. And that is how you end a fucking noir story. That is how you end a fucking noir story. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. End of Celestial Return. This was good as hell. Got my own raven yelling outside. Ooh. Surround sound. Thank you, nature. Oh, yeah. This was so good. Published by Shoreline Games. There are so many shorelines in this world. Everywhere with a shoreline names itself Shoreline. Oh, Capano Ricky's up in a Uma. Thank you, Hajime Isayama, for being our inspiration. Thanks, Kickstarter backers. Cloudy Wizard. Who else we got good names in here? Okay. Mert. I saw No Thanks in there. That's a pretty good name. Just Sean. Will It Work Dan Sicker? Pretty good, pretty good. Well, I definitely want to play this with licensed music, so RIP to you guys. If you want to know the licensed music, you gotta play it yourself too. We gotta find out what's on that second floor. I'm waiting a long time to write these credits. It took years, countless late nights, and more than a few moments where we wondered if we'd ever get here. Thank you for playing our game. Thank you for believing in us. See you in the next one. Kareem. Oh, this was real good. I will certainly keep an eye on it. Certainly.